We're live. What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live. I see a lot of people here early in the chat. It's so awesome to see everybody hanging out before the show even started. So we appreciate you guys. I saw my boy Insane One unfortunately won't be here for the stream. So Insane One, we'll miss you, my friend. But I know you'll be here in spirit, and like you said, you'll catch us on the rewind. But how's everybody doing tonight? I know we got some familiar faces in here. My man, Some Guy. By the way, guys, congratulations to Some Guy, and a big thank you to my friend Some Guy. He's a new mod for the live chat. So if you guys mess around, I know Some Guy's going to get you. He's going to get you because I put him on duty. I'm like, Some Guy, I need you, man, because there's some people in the chat. And I'm just kidding. You guys are great. But Some Guy gracefully agreed to help us out in the chat. So Some Guy is our newest moderator. So thank you so much, Some Guy, for helping out, my friend. I really appreciate you. Eddie Rodriguez here early with everybody else. Eddie says, don't forget to hit that like upon entering. I appreciate you, Eddie. It's good to see you as always, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Who else do we have in here? Let's see. Leighton, my friend. I hope you're doing well. He said, how's it going, Legends? I don't quite think we're Legends, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Good to see you, my friend.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Okay, Lane the Legend. Lane can be a legend because it rhymes with his first name.
Yep.
Lane the Legend. How's it going all? Boba Fettuccine, good to see you, my friend. He says, how's it going all? Happy almost weekend. Yes, happy almost weekend indeed. And I know a lot of us are off on Monday, so that's a 3-day weekend, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Lane's like,
No.
Did you not get? Oh, I'm sorry, Lane.
Just got, hey, you know what? For how things were backstage, I guess I deserve that. Little rubbing in the face.
It's all right, because what's going to happen one day? You're going to be off, and I won't be off, so you can get me back. It all goes full circle. Matt in the house. Matt says, hello, fellow collectors. Hello, Matt. Good to see you, my friend. Yomo says, yo, what's up, Yomo? Good to see you, man. Let's see. Matt says, except for Lane, he doesn't want Hot Toys to release yet. See, Lane, you were talking about this before we started. You're like, we're making jokes about that Daredevil, and Matt's here to get his revenge. Hey, Matt, we hope you get your Daredevil, man. We hope you do. But it's like they're putting him on the back burner, I think. We're getting all this other stuff right now. Hey, even Cassie and Andor is on the back burner, man. What's going on?
Yeah, where's my Death Trooper specialist, man?
Yeah, and all that good stuff from Andor's on the back burner. Sunam, good to see you, my friend. He says that Aragorn is the literal goat. I cannot express how excited I am to get it. I am so happy that you're really excited to get that, and we're excited to talk about it. That's an absolutely beautiful figure, so I'm really glad to hear you're excited for that. Me personally, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan, but I can appreciate how nice that figure looks. And then finally, one more comment before we get started. CSI Grism, good to see you, my friend. What did you miss? You didn't miss anything. Actually, we're just starting out. We're only 3 minutes into the stream, so you are right on time, my friend. I hope you're doing well. For some reason, guys, my chat isn't pulling up on the StreamYard, but that's okay. So, guys, of course, as always, I have my friend Ryan here from Mr. Mom Collectibles. So, thank you so much for being here, Ryan. As always, it's good to have you. Sean is here with us, but of course, Sean is working at the beginning of the stream, so he's going to pop in and out until he's off. But we appreciate Sean popping in early. And of course, we have Lane, the legend, here with us. Oh, looks like Sean just unmuted his mic.
I'm not working right now.
Excuse me. So
I'm here. I'll be working in a little bit, but I'm.
Well, you know, Sean, we didn't see your beautiful face, so we didn't know if you were here or not. Well, hey, unless your camera's turned on, we don't know if you're truly here for us, Sean, because we have to see your beautiful face.
Right.
You're right.
My name is Reject Nibi, and I'm here to tell you all about the Hot Toys that we're going to be collecting with the Insane Lane, the Mr. Ryan Mom, yeah, and the Dirty Dishes on Hotline. Ooh, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, they make it so good.
He's not going to let that name die.
No, he won't. He won't.
No, you should never have told me that, dude. It's like literally like telling someone the most embarrassing moment of your life.
Yeah, but that's who he was for like a year.
Lane's like, that was his former identity. All right, guys. Anyways, we're going to get into the DeLorean. Before Sean gets us on a tangent of calling me dirty dishes and in the insane Lane, you know what Sean does. We're going to talk about the DeLorean. So we're going to get right into the DeLorean. If you guys haven't heard already, which you should have at this point if you watch other streamers or if you pay attention to Facebook, the Hot Toys DeLorean has been officially released. So originally, guys, and I apologize, and this kind of happened with a lot of other streamers, when that original post went out from Hot Toys on the secret base page, I thought that meant that it was releasing on the 3rd. No, that was just saying them telling the buyers in Hong Kong to get ready because it was going to be releasing soon. So my apologies for that. Originally, I was told that it was going to be shipping, but apparently I misunderstood what they said. But that's okay. It's here now.
It's good they actually decided to say, hey, guess what? And guys, in a week, get ready to have all your money ready because we're coming for it.
Right. That and be prepared to handle this size box. And apparently they gave people in Hong Kong free shipping, which I think is pretty awesome of them to do because obviously shipping this is it's huge. It's a very expensive piece to ship. So I'm sure that was a welcome message for a lot of people in Hong Kong.
And they've had some big box, even like we were talking about the Mech test. Like they've had some big box items recently.
Yeah.
The shipping was probably expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure. Looks like David. What's good, David? Sorry, I can't talk right now. He says the DeLorean looks very nice, dude. It does, and we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about all the details and such, and the things that we love, and the things that we think they may have missed on here and there. But overall, guys, I will say, just to start it out, I think they did a great job with the DeLorean. And as I say that, the newest Back to the Future fan in the entire country. He's a little late because the movie's been out for a long time, but he's the newest Back to the Future fan, and that is Collecting Madness. Chris is in the house.
In time, bro.
Perfect timing because we haven't even got into the details yet on the DeLorean. We just pulled the photos up. We're getting hyped about it. We're saying what's up to the people in the chat.
What's up, chat?
And look who's in the chat. My friend HG, Commander Green. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. There's my friend Dylan, of course, going along with Sean with the dirty dishes, but he's putting his own take on it, which I always scold him for. But what's up, Dylan? I hope you're doing well, my friend. TK says Lane with the hard eyes. Lane, you got some fans in the chat tonight. I hope that makes your day a little bit better. You got a lot of fans in the chat tonight, Lane. We all love you. Stevie, I love that name, Stevie Weeby. Hot Toys is all about that big box game. They are, and especially, hey, if we get that M1, that's going to be a big box right there. You want to talk about big boxes? That's going to be like Lane always talks about the statue boxes and how some of them come in multiple boxes. We might be seeing that for the M1, depending on how small they can get it when it comes apart. We may see multiple boxes for that M1.
Good luck by the time that comes out, how much shipping is going to be. It'll be like half the third of the price or more of the actual thing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and Kaiju is saying, so Kaiju is actually lives in, I believe, Japan. Kaiju is where you live. So Kaiju says shipping is generally free in Japan for most sellers. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I mean, I guess I'm just used to how it is here in the U.S. where free shipping is kind of hard to come by depending on the type of stuff that you buy. But that's awesome, especially on something like this. I can't imagine them doing free shipping unless it sits for a long time, just as like a promotion.
I think you would more likely, if you were to hit the meme for free shipping in the United States and you hit the meme with J. Jonah Jameson, that would probably be what it should be playing right now. Like Sideshow saying free shipping.
Right. And he starts laughing. Yeah, that'd be perfect timing, wouldn't it? But yeah, guys, so let's move on to the next shot here so we start talking about it. Guys, this release really excites me. And of course, the biggest thing with this Hot Toys DeLorean, right, is the fact that they fixed the wheels. Obviously, in the original prototype, we saw the wheels when it was in the hover converted mode were very low hanging. There was a big gap in the wheel well, and it just didn't look right. And obviously, many collectors who are fans of Back to the Future, they voiced that, right? Everybody was like, what's going on with this? There's no way that this is going to be the final product. There's no way they're not going to fix this. And obviously, when the Doc Brown came out, we're like, oh, crap. Are they going to stiff us on the DeLorean as well? But thankfully, it looks like they put more of their resources in the DeLorean than they did the Doc Brown, unfortunately. But hey, in our favor, at least the DeLorean got fixed. This is a huge win for us collectors. And this is how, to be fair, this is how it should have been, right? For a product that's $825 before taxes and shipping, we shouldn't have had to worry about such a blatant inaccuracy. You know what I mean? Like, we can let a lot of things pass, but...
Doesn't the Doc Brown feel kind of like a troll right here, right now? Or is that from old pictures?
No, they I think these are obviously the original figures, and they use them. It is a bit of a troll, and it's a bit of a teaser.
I mean, just for the glass, just like the glasses there pumping into the holes there onto the actual sculpt.
It is a bit of a troll, right? Because this is the same exact head sculpt here. Obviously, there are some minor changes, like Ryan had said. Because Ryan, I just got my Doc Brown on order. but like Ryan pointed out, there's some minor changes in the paint and such. But for the most part, it's the same sculpt, right? So
Yeah, just here. Oh yeah, here. This is what's supposed to go into the little holes on the Doc Brown head.
yeah, exactly. It's like you could have at least given us some glasses, even if it wasn't accurate. Give us a pair of glasses. You might as well if you're gonna leave the holes open. But
that looks cool though. I like that old. I mean, obviously it's a much older figure now, but that I really
they're
like.
beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm.
And those are some serious grails. They're up there in price. And I was just telling you guys backstage, I'm gonna want to hunt those down eventually. I'm sitting for now. I'm gonna be happy with my part 1 figures and the part 3 figures that are right around the corner. But yeah, it's exciting to see them all together, though. Even if I don't have an easy access to get these figures, they look incredible, dude. And it just.
Do you think it might have been licensing issues? Maybe why they couldn't do Back to the Future 2, or maybe it's because they had done the full set of them and they wanted to do different with Back to the Future 1 with the 2.0 of Marty and that Doc, and then the 3, which they've never done.
I would say probably the latter. I think they were probably like, how can we mix it up, not instantly reissue everything? And they kind of did that, right? We got the Mark II version of the DeLorean. We got the part 1 and the part 3 figures. Obviously, the Marty, they kind of gave us the same thing and then threw in the Einstein, which I was cool with. You know, I didn't have the original figure. I know some of the people who originally had the Marty. And I think and correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, you would know more than I think the first Marty had a couple different accessories too, right?
The biggest one was the guitar.
That's right. It had that exclusive guitar. You're right.
Which is funny because I don't know if you saw, there's a third party that just released.
Or like,
who was it that did it? It just came out there. It's called Time Traveling Man, who released it. I know TNS Figures has it, but they did basically a carbon copy of the first Marty. It released like a couple days ago because actually what's funny is I put a deposit on it before not knowing Hot Toys did theirs. I got the invoice for it. I'm like, I'm not gonna get this, but that one comes with the guitar, so it's a copy of the first one. Present Toys, yep.
Oh, it's Present Toys. Interesting.
Yeah, sculpt looks a little off, but I mean,
I like the view there.
Yeah, dude, this is like, and when this first dropped, I was looking at these photos with a friend of mine. We were on Discord, and I was losing my mind, man. When I looked at this photo in particular, I was just like going full nerd mode. You know, I love the look of these lights on the underside of the undercarriage of the vehicle. That shot of Doc looking down is just so iconic, and I'm like, dude, I need to hunt down these figures. I want to ask you.
Have in mind in hover mode.
Me too, and I said this on Geeking Out the other day, but I'm like, I originally was not going to have this in hover mode because I hated how the wheels look, and I'm like, I'm buying this with the intention of having it on the ground, kind of like the Mark I would be, but I'm like, I can't put it in hover mode if it looks like this because it's going to bother me. And now they fixed the wheels. I'm like, I got to put it in hover mode. It looks so good. It's going in hover mode. Excuse me. Got some comments piling up here. Let me see. There's one in particular I wanted to look at.
Hey, Hotline.
Yes? You can say my first name if you want, Sean. It sounded like you started.
Hotline man.
Hey, Hotline. No, I was struggling because I was going to say dirty dishes, but hey, no, what were you saying? What pose are you going to do it in?
The hover pose? The hover mode?
That's what she said.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But I think also would help just seeing somebody, and obviously having seen actually like swivel around, having the sideshow unboxing probably helped too. This is one of those times when we can say we appreciate High Sideshow now having those out relatively so quickly. You actually got to see it in motion, kind of, and I think the actual parts are using to help where you can suspend it in the air as part of the base and everything.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
They look pretty solid to me, so I would feel more if I end up deciding to get this at some point, I would feel comfortable leaving in that, not just for, I'm just, I don't know if this, sometimes we see with some of these bases for figures, we're like, I don't know how this feels. I want to leave it up or put it up in this thing for a picture or two, and then immediately it's coming down and, you're doing whatever with it.
Exactly.
Into, I guess for this thing, it would just be on the ground, the quote, museum pose of this figure, of this vehicle would just be on the ground, phase 1 like.
Yeah. I like the stand too, and I was and Ryan I know was in the chat the other day when I was on Geeking Out, and I was like, dude, it'd be really cool, and if there's any third-party customizers in here, if you know of anybody, and you could drop the word to them. I would love to see somebody attempt a posable DeLorean stand because I feel like it definitely could be done. I think maybe Hot Toys gave us this for cost limitations because obviously it's already really expensive. They probably wanted to keep the cost down. And I think the stand is cool. Is it like the perfect stand? No, but I think it's cool when it has it's a nice pose. But I would like to be able to pose it myself. The other thing I would like to do is get like and Ryan's idea was like maybe those shelf risers and kind of put the DeLorean on the shelf riser so you can have that low hover mode where they're kind of stepping in and out of the DeLorean onto the ground. That would be another way I would love to display it. So yeah, if anybody out there wants to do a custom like third-party stand where you can adjust it and put it in different poses, I would love to. Or even another idea, and this may also have been what you said, Ryan, or someone else, have it like swap out 3D printed parts for the Hot Toys stand where you can kind of lower the height or adjust the angle.
Yeah.
That could easily be done for the right person. That could easily be done. We just need one smart guy with a 3D printer and who knows how to model. And I think that could easily be done. And I would love to see that, dude. Just more options for posing this vehicle in hover mode, I think would be really, really cool.
Like,
let me
look at the details. Like,
yeah. So, and let me address some comments real quick, and we'll get into some more because they're kind of piling up here.
yeah.
And, I'm a comment guy. I like reading your guys' comments. You know how I am. Some guy says, make sure you guys smash that like and subscribe. So guys, we have 50 people watching. Thank you so much, guys. It's so awesome to have you all here with us. So if you haven't already, drop a like on this stream if you appreciate what we're doing tonight. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, guys. We're at 675. Holy crap. We're almost at 700 subscribers. I can't believe it. So if you haven't already and you want to be notified when I drop new videos or whenever we go live, definitely consider subscribing. Yomo says, I'm really looking forward to that Daredevil figure. He's my second favorite Marvel hero, and I don't have him yet. Yeah, dude, I'm right there with Matt. It's not my top most anticipated figure, but I am really excited for it. I love that new look for Daredevil versus the original all red. I think it's really, really nice, so I'm right there with you. And, of course, some guy's got to drop his hashtag Winter Soldier 2.0 in 2023. I hope that goes good for you, man. Dylan says, what's good, gang? Let's see.
Is this second coming of reissue Mark 46 guy?
Maybe some guy. You might have to start putting that hashtag on every Hot Toys post. That may be what you have to do. Eclectic Collector, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. He says excited about this, dude. If you can't tell already, we really are too. I think even if you're not getting this, you can appreciate the beauty of it and the time that went into it and the changes that they made for the better. I definitely think a lot of people will appreciate this piece, even if they're not picking it up. Matt says he posted one of the first reviews from Hong Kong. So I actually do have that review pulled up in my list of tabs. So don't worry. After we go through these photos and we get some thoughts from the panel, we're going to watch the first review because I haven't watched it yet. I turned it on real quick, skimmed through it just to make sure it actually had some good stuff that we could see. And then I'm like, cool, I'm going to use this video. So I haven't really watched it either. I love this. Of course, Oilers has to come in and make a clever comment. He says, roses are red, violets are blue. Hot Toys are expensive. How are you? I hope you're doing well, Jordan. I'm doing well. Excited about the DeLorean. Jordan, are you picking up the DeLorean? This seems like a piece that you may or may not get. I'm not too sure if this is one you would pick up because I know you're kind of all over the place with the stuff you get, but I know you get a lot of Boba Fett's like I do, and Mandos specifically. Kaiju says, came across the DeLorean 1.0 yesterday for $1,100. Wow, that's a really good price. That's a steal, in fact. Not bad. Very tempting since I don't have that one. Kaiju, I would say grab that. If you have the space and the extra funds for it, what's better than one DeLorean? Two DeLoreans.
Enabling at its finest right here on the channel.
But for $1,100, I have to enable them. I have to. If you have the extra funds, like I said, specifically if you have the extra funds, I would grab it. Sluggin16, I love that. And he has Ryu. Is that the iconic Ryu? That's a figure I still need to pick up. That figure looks really, really impressive. I'm excited to pick that one up. He says, good evening, fellow collectors. Good evening to you. Blackbird Tech, good to see you, my friend. Stevie Weeby says, I hacked into Howard's hard drive recently after getting inspired watching the movie Hackers and found that the N1 will be huge. 4 ships per container, so get your display spot cleared. I have my display spot cleared, and that is actually my ceiling. That's where if we get that M1, it's going to be hanging from chains on my ceiling. That's where the M1's going because I've ran out of upward space for that. Or, shelf space for that, so I got to take up upward space. That's going to be my plan. But yeah, guys, Ryan, I want to hear your thoughts on the DeLorean as we're going through these photos because I know this is something that you've been waiting for, and you're probably the biggest Back to the Future fan that I know. So What are your thoughts on the DeLorean, man? And obviously, we've talked about the good so far. We haven't talked about the few nitpicks we have here and there. But what are your thoughts overall with the improvements we've seen and what you're seeing here in the photos?
I mean, I love it. I mean, ever since I started collecting Hot Toys, you know, when you start collecting, everyone eventually looks backwards at what's there. And when I started doing collecting Hot Toys, you know, not knowing what they already had made, and you go back and you find out, oh man, they did Back to the Future. Oh man, they did a DeLorean. You know, all this stuff. Oh, this never happened again. All this stuff. And then, you know, here it is, and it's. I like how, you know, I like it's not a direct reissue of the Mark 1. It's the 2. I mean, I grew up. I think I watched Back to the Future 2 first, and I went back and watched the first one. Same with Ghostbusters. I watched Ghostbusters 2 because I grew up with that. Came out when I was, you know, and then I went back to the first one. So I grew up with this car, and then even like anybody who, you know, anyone in the chat who remembers the ride at Universal Studios back in the 90s. I mean, that
actually, yeah, Denobi actually used a clip from the
video.
ride.
Oh man, I love it. I still have the little keychain from, like, they gave the little Back to the Future keychain. I still actually have that on my shelf from Universal Studios. So I mean, it obviously means so much. So to see it, you know, and have it displayed on the shelf, you know, it's awesome. I mean, this vehicle, along with the Golden Armor Wonder Woman, is the reason why I built these display cases, because this empty, you know, behind me right there is where it's going. So it's going to be there. So I'm excited about it. I have so many ideas of stuff that I'm not usually a quote unquote modder where I'm going to like do stuff. I already told you there's some stuff that I'm going to do. I already ordered stuff that I'm going to add to the car because I'm not like this with everything, but when I see stuff that I love and I'm invested in, either emotionally or financially, I just want it done right. And Hot Toys, the car is like 90% perfect to me. I just love it. And, you know, there's a couple things that are off about it that I'm like, I got to do something about it. And like, you know, I'm not going to go rip the car apart. I'm not doing that stuff, but there's just definitely some stuff on the car that I'm going to enhance the overall look of it compared to what it is now, what Hot Toys gave us. But
yeah, I know you're saying like you're going to be getting some stickers. I won't talk about your other idea because I know that's like a little bit of a surprise, but yeah. So Ryan's plan is he's going to go through and kind of make some minor changes that don't require opening up the car or cutting anything. We know Denobi loves to do that type of stuff, and we appreciate when he puts all that time and effort into it. But me, guys, you know, I don't customize stuff very often. Yeah. I'm usually like, if I'm getting it, I'm going to be happy with what it is. But yeah, I would agree with you though. I think about 90% accurate is correct for this. I think there are some shortcomings, which when we get to those photos, we'll talk about it. But overall, I'm very pleased with how.
Absolutely, I love it. Am I better now, by the way?
I think it's still picking up your webcam. I think that's picking up your webcam, Mike. All right, let's see who else we got in the chat. I see some more people in the chat here. Let's see what we got here. CSI says it's weird having 3 Martys, 2 Docs, and a DeLorean Mark 1 all together. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it sounds better now.
Sorry, switched my mic. This wasn't turned on, so I was talking through something else. I apologize.
What do good friends do?
Unprofessional. I apologize. I'm ruining the chat.
How dare you? Now we gotta remove that clip from the stream, from the rewind, because you just embarrassed us, dude.
That car, it looks gorgeous. That looks gorgeous, though. It looks great.
Oh, it's beautiful, man, and the color is just absolutely beautiful. I love. It seems like they adjusted the shade of silver a little bit in the final products, and I think it looks fantastic.
So here's something. I mean, and like I said, I don't mean to be critical, so please don't make me sound like I'm nitpicking. But an example of something that I purchased already that I'm going to add to the car is that the tires that you see there are Goodyear tires, so they should have the Goodyear logo branding on the tires. Yeah. I bought a 1/6 scale dry rub that I'm going to put on them to make them look like the official Goodyear tires. Very simple, but a simple fix that I'm going to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool because, you know, Hot Toys omits branding for obvious reasons.
Correct.
Right?
So I understand why it wasn't on there.
Like the Air Mags aren't Nike.
Exactly.
The Part 1 Nikes aren't Nike. So
exactly. So that's just a little thing like that.
Like, I bought Nike Air Mags for whenever I find the Part 2 figure, I'm gonna throw them on there.
Yeah. Didn't he have them also on the Part 1 too? The Nikes, the red or the white?
Yes, those like I forgot that style of shoe is called, but yeah, those were supposed to be Nike as well. They weren't, unfortunately, but it's understandable. They're trying to save money.
Yeah.
Kinky says sick photo, dude. I gotta say, they're in the photography department for these final product photos. They're stepping it up, and I'm glad to see that, because what sells us on a figure more than the final product photos? you know, because that's the final like sight that we see of a figure before it arrives in collectors' hands, or a vehicle in this case. So I'm glad to see that they're stepping their game up when it comes to the final product photos, because that's what really sells it for you, right? Because a lot of people are like, dude, I want to wait and see what the final product looks like. So if you do a good job with the final product photos, you're going to do a better job at selling your product, right? So I'm very glad to see that they kind of knocked it out of the park. And you're going to see as we go through these photos, they're absolutely beautiful. And they took so many photos. There's like 50 of them. So they really put in the time. They're like, we really need to do this right for the DeLorean. I'm glad they did. Before we get into Lane's thoughts, CSI says, haha, hey, Hotline, it's Mr. Hotline to you, sir. Exactly. It's Mr. Hotline to you. No, you don't have to call me Mr. I'm not that serious.
Mr. Hotline is my father.
Don Primes, good to see you as always, Don. Don says, good evening, fellow addicts. Yes, we must be addicts when we're buying a $825 plastic car, right? We must be addicts, but hey, it's for good reason, right? It's a good thing to be addicted to. There's a lot of bad things to be addicted to, but not Hot Toys. Unless it's affecting your personal finances, then that's when you have to make changes. But I won't tell you what to do. I don't even know what that was. I won't even ask. Ryan's like, dude, my DeLorean.
No, something on the floor fell.
Okay. 16D's nuts. What's up? He says we need some biffs now. Yeah, guys, we do need some biffs. And you know what I did? I took one for the team, guys, and real quick, I bought some Cost babies. I had to take one for the team to see what these Cost babies were all about. So until we get our biff, I got Griff and Biff here. I would love to see both. Actually, I don't really need this. Or excuse me, I don't need the old Biff, the jerk Biff in Hot Toys form. But if we get 55 Biff and Griff, I'll be good. And Mad Dog. If we get Mad Dog, that'll be my final wish. So Hot Toys.
Since you guys also mentioned like the whole manure Biff thing as a joke, like it can't be unseen nor out of my head. So when I was watching those, he's got to come with like some type of manure cart or something, bro.
Or like poopy, extra swap out poopy clothes. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
That'd be real cool. Euler says, I want the DeLorean, but I don't have the space. That's fair, man. The space is hard to come by nowadays. I know that for a fact. Big Dog Pound saying what's up to everybody. Showing love to everybody in the chat. What's up, Big Dog Pound? Good to see you as always, man. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you here for sure. But yeah, let's move on to the next photos, guys. Lane, we were talking before stream, and you're kind of on the fence about the DeLorean. You want it, but it's obviously not the best timing for you, and understandably so.
And just size. I don't know where I would put it.
Yeah, do you think as time progresses, and it sits in stock, maybe you're like, okay, maybe I'll consider getting the DeLorean?
More likely I would probably get it if it's on sale. This is one of the things I think it would be. I'm not a huge Back to the Future fan. Like, I like the movies, all right, but I think I've only seen them 2 or 3 times in my life, ever. But I love the vehicle. You know, this is one of those times. But this is, you know, if you're looking at this is one of the times where watching the video and seeing the pictures can get you into a hype mode sometimes, where we have talked about a lot, and in some other channels about the fiscal responsibility that we probably need to show next year, where. I'm just going to leave out, let's say, okay, it's not, you know, you're not spending $800 or something like that you may not want. Are you in the situation right now with your collecting where, okay, let's say, you know, you're not knocking yourself out necessarily if you go pick this up, say, in the next 2 months or something like that. But is that going to knock out you buying some other figures or other stuff maybe later in the year you were considering, or were they from a movie you really like? Are you getting caught in the hype of this thing right now?
Because this is like 3 figures, Lane, with taxes and shipping. That's like 3 figures.
Yeah. So you need to be careful with it. If you're like you, where you are a big fan, and this is like, if you, for whatever reason, 6 months from now, financially something comes up where you spent that money and you have to cancel some figures, maybe that, you know, for whatever reason something came up, you had to do that, you're going to be okay. Because the DeLorean was a big piece that you wanted, and I've been planning for it for a while, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like for those that haven't planned for it, and they're, like you said, getting sucked into the hype of like, oh, I don't want to miss out on the DeLorean because everybody's saying it's such a special piece. Are you going to be okay with
getting? Are you willing to get rid? Are you willing to, if you're going to buy this one, are you willing to get rid of some stuff? Maybe, you know, later this year.
Sacrifice a lot of space too.
Yeah, like, or we're okay. You know, it's a long-term thing, but if you spend $800 on this, are you going to maybe be willing to sacrifice I'll just use randomly like the deluxe Darth Vader and maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi for Obi-Wan later this year.
Yeah.
Or you had the Mando Luke on pre-order, and maybe you have to let that go because you don't have the money you thought you were going to because you decided to spend it now on this, or maybe you don't get the tax return like you thought you were going to get, or something like that you thought would make up the difference, or something like that, so you could still get what you had planned.
And a lot of people plan that way for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to discourage or be I don't want to be a wet blanket on this because I think this thing is cool. Like, I had no plans for getting this, like, realistically, but this is one of those pieces you look at and just go, wow. When we complain about Hot Toys doing, like, we complain about the Doc Brown with the holes in the head without the shades, and we're like, well, why did you do that? It kind of, in some ways, can ruin the figure a little bit. You see that happen, and you go, why? And then you see this, and sometimes it makes you go, why more? Why does this got all the detail and all this came out really good? And why did that?
Yeah, and it's like some stuff gets better treatment than others, and
yeah.
I mean this.
But this makes you see what because I know we've been talking about Inart a lot.
Right.
We can see what Hot Toys can do. Well, we have not. This is something we have not seen from Inart. So, and we don't necessarily need to. Figures with this stuff. Hot Toys has really done a banger job, I think, with this. Now, there could be something we find about breaking easily or doing stuff as people get it, down the road, or some issues with it a couple of years from now. But for now, looking at it and everything and what they have done with it, as Justin History points out, what Hot Toys is going for is the accuracy of their figures and vehicles so that they look like, as much as possible, the live action incarnation. And I think they've nailed it with this.
And obviously they left a few things out, but generally speaking, like, this is a very, very nice product, and I'm really excited to get it in hand and feel because again, I've never owned a large scale vehicle like this. Like, I have the speeder bikes from Hot Toys, I've got the Bat Pod, but those are small in comparison to this. This is giant, guys. I mean, I don't think you realize that's the other thing is, like, we say planning the space. This vehicle is giant.
Like, we don't have the tumbler.
I don't have the tumbler. No, I had to pass on the tumbler. I had to make that decision. Like, I'm going to get the Bat Pod, pass on the tumbler.
Yeah.
Because if you do an 89 Batmobile,
the tumbler's fatter than this, but this is longer. Man. But so I think they just did a really good job with this. I think, because I was really on the thing. It was just space concerns why I didn't get the tumbler, but I've got like 4 other vehicles of stuff that instead. But I will say, looking at this, and even though I know the tumbler was kind of a re-release, so it was maybe a little bit older functionality and stuff, that's good. Chromando.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
Exactly. We're gonna cover that later. But congrats, guys. Keep an eye out on Oiler's Workshop channel. He's gonna be doing a review on the Chrome Mando. Which one? I'm not gonna be doing that. I got my email as well, but definitely check out Oiler's Workshop if you haven't, dude. Trust me.
And this is so we can relate it to some of the other other guys now too.
Yeah.
I guess I'll throw it to just all the rest of the panel here. I'm asking for a comparison between this and how the Tumbler 2.0, 3.0, or whatever it is came out. I think from just looking at it, obviously not having either in hand, but looking at this stuff, and just even from I look back at the old unboxings and stuff and Justin's reviews, I think this tops the Tumbler. And I love the Tumbler. Like, the Tumbler is one of my all-time favorite.
I've heard a lot of people see the Tumbler is like pretty brittle in certain spots. And I've heard people use the term junk. I've heard people. I've never.
We don't know yet. There could be some
original
that are brittle at doing stuff.
The original Tumbler, I heard there was issues.
Yeah, it was really.
Yeah, Denobi cared about
it. But the new one,
the new
one, I don't have any issues on at all, and it's pretty durable. I haven't had anything. I got it. I played with it for a minute.
So it seems like they fixed all the issues.
I put it in display. Yeah, I was moving the flaps up and down, and nothing popped out like what they used to complain about.
Yeah,
hey,
the Bat Pod feels good too. I just want to say what's up real quick though to Maz. Shout out to Maz. Maz is literally, believe it or not, guys, Maz was one of my earliest subscribers, and Maz had me on his stream one time when I was literally like a nobody, and still am a nobody, but when I was really a nobody, Maz had me on. So it's good to see you, Maz, as always. It's good to see you back.
And hey, Maz, we got to see you on Geeking Out the other day. It was very good seeing you back. I watched some of that when you were on it the other day. I was glad.
It was
to see
awesome
you there.
to see you there, man. So it's good to see you here as well. I hope you're doing well, Maz. Guys, if you haven't already, check out Maz's Toy Box, not only on YouTube but on Instagram. He does some really cool toy photography. I love his toy photography stuff, and he's shared his knowledge with me a couple times, and I don't know what the hell he's talking about because I don't know much about toy photography, but he knows his stuff, and he's very passionate. He does a lot of like 1/12 scale photography. And he does some pretty awesome stuff and a lot of stuff that I'm interested in. Maz is the Predator, man. So if you guys like Predator, he's the Predator, man.
You know what I always think about with Maz is that on that live stream where Lane was on, and I made the joke about how Lane's doesn't look like a very bad assisted living facility when he was like moving the camera around his home.
Lane's just like, just leave me alone. We have a question here. From my
just
boy
like Lane's
guy.
smile and his laugh at that was just like classical. I just love that point.
Lane, you have my permission to attack Sean.
Unmuted.
You're unmuted. You don't have to do it muted. You can attack him right now.
Oh yeah. Well, blah, nah, 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 with that. But I think at least from Justin's review, I think most of it, or what they were showing, is from not Justin but Sideshow's early unboxing. Like the side pieces there are metal, but I think a lot of the vehicle is supposed to be
right.
I think that the flux bands are metal. That go around
right. It's like a metal.
Flux bands
mesh.
are metal,
like
but the
it was like that on the Part 1 DeLorean as well.
Well, that's probably helping with the weight because it's supposed to weigh like 20 pounds.
I imagine the axles are probably some sort of metal too, or like at least the rod going through that holds.
But I guess what you would expect of the car is plastic. Even though it looks like it's.
Yeah, so some guy, it would be super expensive if it was like a good amount of die cast on it. It's already pretty expensive at $825, obviously, but also the weight and shipping and everything just doesn't make sense.
And also, what I always say is I have a 1/8 scale up above. That's all metal, 100% metal, and the thing is so heavy and cumbersome. And I've seen people say like, "Oh, Inart might make an all die cast." You wouldn't
need that. Yeah, we don't need the all die cast.
I have one already. That's 1/8 scale. That's 100% metal. Oh, it's not needed. This one figure keeps falling over on my display case.
Well,
that's a figure, right?
Yeah, you know what figure that is? That's the Kingpin third party. They keep falling over because the ankle bones are so bad.
Kingpin.
It's going to be destroyed.
Oh, at this point, I can care about it now.
Dude, use the stands. Get a stand.
I did. It just fell over on the stand. It does have the stand.
He's a big boy, though. I'm not surprised. But guys, real quick, we got the specs directly from Thick Bantha Boy. Prep your space, big Thick Bantha Boy says.
Jesus Christ.
9.84 inches in height, 13.78. So think of this, guys. This is giant. 13, almost 14 inches wide, and depth 28 inches. So that's a lot of space, guys. I mean, think about it. A D-Top's what, like 16 inches wide, just under 16?
Wait, that's 28 inches long?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the same size as the tumbler then.
Yeah, that's a big
because
piece,
my display cases are 31 inches wide, and the tumbler fits in that.
Yeah.
So this is pretty close to the length of the tumbler.
That's crazy.
So you could have had the tumbler and the DeLorean. It's not too late. You can always go back.
No, because Sean, like I said, the reason I decided to pass, I'm like, I'll be because for me, because I got the DX19, I'm like, the Bat Pod is more iconic for that film, and I'd rather have the Bat Pod with him. And also, I'll be getting the Catwoman, so it just made sense for me to get the pod. And also, like, if they do an 89 Batmobile, 100% getting that. If they do the Batman Batmobile, 100% getting that. So it's like I had to make that sacrifice. I'd much rather have the 89 and the Batman Batmobile than the Tumbler, personally. I just think they look cooler. As much as I like the Tumbler, but...
You know, with the DeLorean and everything else, too, that's coming out, it's giving collectors a room to literally consider what they want to collect. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more with the more vehicles they produce. There's going to be some collectors that only collect vehicles and just the characters surrounding those vehicles, which I think is cool. And anyone could do what they want for their collection. But I think we're going to start seeing a large movement of that starting to come forward with how many vehicles are popping out.
I thought I wasn't doing anything with vehicles, and then I'm like, well, now I have the swoop bike, I have the Stap.
It's hard, man, because it's such a good accessory piece.
I've got the Bat Pod. I've got, still on pre-order, I've got the Bat Cycle, which if I bought this, some of those vehicles, that's the other thing. Some of those vehicles would have to go goodbye. Like I would have to get rid of them to make space.
Hot Toys is testing.
You know
our
what?
space
Oh,
budgets.
that could be your YouTuber name, Lane's Garage, with all your vehicles that you're collecting.
I was thinking testing my spirit. Hot Toys testing my spirit. Like that's the whole name. But so Sean actually brings up, and this is obviously another kind of thing that a lot of people are bringing up with the talk of the DeLorean. Sean's saying, I know it's not coming out for a while, but I'm curious to see how the Inart DeLorean will turn out. So my thoughts on that is like, I am very interested to see what Inart will do with vehicles, but I'm not going to hold my breath for any other companies that do the DeLorean right now. We've got the Mark II DeLorean with Mr. Fusion right in front of us, and a great example of it, at least what we can see from the photos. Obviously, we don't have it in hand yet, but it looks incredible. So for me, it's like I'm not going to put my faith in any other company when it comes to this vehicle. I have to have it in my collection. So now,
Inart already said also, just to clarify, they only have the license to do the DeLorean from the first movie, and they have it for a year, and then they have to renew it. Like they have to keep renewing it just to keep it. And so if it does happen, it's not going to be this year. Most likely, they're going to have to renew. It's already what they said. And they only have it for the first movie. So if you're hoping for a flying conversion Inart DeLorean, it's already not going to happen because John already said they have the license to the first movie, and that's it.
Yeah, and this is the ultimate DeLorean, right? In my opinion, Part 2 DeLorean is the ultimate DeLorean. It's got the Mr. Fusion. It's got the hover converted wheels. It's like, this is the DeLorean for me. Like if I could pick one, it would certainly be the Part 2 one. So I'm really excited to be able to get this at retail cost, be able to use some rewards and stuff on Sideshow. Like I'm just over the moon, guys. And it's like, the other thing is, and we're going to see, I think there may be photos here. If not, I'm sure it'll be in the review. The Mr. Fusion, you can open it. So if you're lucky enough to have the Part 2 Back to the Future figures, you can have Doc loading up some trash into the Mr. Fusion because it opens up just like it does in the film. I think that's really cool, man. And I think the scale of the Mr. Fusion looks pretty accurate. I think they did a great job, man. Now, what I want to talk about now, and I want to scroll through these photos a little bit because, of course, we're going to watch the video review. I want to talk about some things that maybe they didn't do quite to our expectations because, of course, you got to cover everything, the good and the bad. As we're breezing through these photos, love to see the light up flux capacitor. I love that they went so in depth with the lighting on a lot of the stuff. Obviously, we saw the time circuit lights up, the consoles and everything on the dash, the cluster, it all lights up, which is awesome to see. Definitely love to see that. But something that I noticed initially that I wasn't too happy about, and I'm trying to get to a photo. And again, this isn't like a huge detractor for me. And I'm curious to hear everybody on the panel's thoughts and also in the chat. The light bleed in the top of the wheels. Now, this is a thing that if it really, really does bother you, it is easily fixable, right? But I'm very curious to know why they didn't decide to just kind of stick something in there to cover up that light bleed to the top. Is it a huge deal for me? No, but it does kind of throw off the look just a little bit in terms of accuracy's sake. Now, for me personally, will I see myself modding it at all to alleviate this? Probably not, because again, it doesn't bother me that much. I just wanted to point it out because this is one of the first things I noticed where I'm like, that's not quite right. But like, if anyone wants to chime in, like, what are your thoughts on this this kind of misstep here with the wheels? Of course, we have the wheels fixed. That's the main issue, is having that hover converted wheel look correct.
Yeah, I think with Hot Toys, and that's kind of one of the things I talked about, is where you get one thing fixed and then you create another issue. And obviously, you don't know till you get this in hand because I'm assuming it's translucent. That's why it's showing, or it's just
on the inside, most likely, I would imagine, just to allow the light to pass through.
And also, I'm interested to see how bad it is because we are going off of, and we always say you got to watch the photos being taken, the light and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see how bad the bleed is actually in person. It would annoy the hell out of me, I will say, because if the car was level, like you said, I would probably have it displayed low to the ground. Sometimes, like, get like an acrylic base so it's lower.
Yeah, dude,
if the car is level, like almost line of sight,
you won't be able to
probably won't see it as much. But with the display base, they're like shoving it in your face the way that they give you because it's on an angle. They're like, they're not hiding it. That being said, you can see there looks like there's at least one screw I see. So I will probably unscrew and see how much I could just take the wheel off and just take a peek inside.
Just to see how it's built and what you could do.
I'm already thinking about maybe wrapping the underside. I have a couple people I was talking to that do like other, because I built my own proton pack, and I have a couple of buddies that we all did the same stuff. So I was bouncing some ideas around, and one of them I was thinking about doing is theoretically, if you take that tire off and that clear base stays on, is maybe put tape on the underside of it, like gaffer's tape or something really that's thick, black, and solid, and then put the wheel back on. That might cover the bleed where you won't see it as much. I know people talk about painting it or things like that. I'm not getting into that kind of stuff. I know Denobi's already been talking about he's gonna like put a whole new lighting system in there. I'm not going that far with it, but I'm interested to see it. A lot of it's speculation though until you get the car in hand, what you could do with it, because there's mods I'm gonna do, but there's ones that I'm not. It's my only car, and I know like Denobi's gonna buy a second one and keep it pristine, and then one to play with. I'm not gonna go that far, but I am curious to see what those wheels look like underneath and how simple it is. I don't see Hot Toys going above and beyond with engineering, like where you open it up. I don't see him being that hard, so to speak, to kind of fix it, in my opinion. But we'll see.
Thick Bantha Boy says, according to Sideshow's product page, the tumbler is larger in nearly every dimension over the DMC. I'm not surprised that the tumbler is obviously a very wide vehicle too, right? It's kind of by design. It has that very wide-bodied look to it, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's what the big thing is the wider body to it and stuff like that versus the DeLorean's big, but I don't think in like total mass it necessarily takes quite as much space, but it's longer.
Right.
So you have to plan for if you're like going to stick it on top of your DTOL shelves, or if you got, just some place where you're thinking about putting it, you have to keep in mind, because it's more like a standard car a little bit, it's going to have a longer space that it takes up.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Matt says Denobi said the tumbler front wheels concaved in on itself when trying to roll it around. I'm guessing that was probably the first one, because I know he had it a long time ago and he got rid of it. But I would imagine it was probably the first one. Euler says the DeLorean is 6 inches longer than the Hulkbuster is tall. Yeah, food for thought there. The Hulkbuster is massive, so think of that, guys. Commander Crook. Good to see you, Commander Crook. I hope you're doing well. There we go. Single Songwriter. Good to see you as well. He says Kramer's Vehicles. That's your YouTube channel, Lane. Kramer's Vehicles. 160's nuts. Jazz Inc. has the 66, the 95, and the 89 Batmobiles coming up on top of Inart entering their market, and Hot Toys stepping back into the game.
Goodbye, money.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of options for vehicles, that's for sure. And you got to be selective with which ones you get, for sure.
I guess one thing we got to keep in mind, though, with vehicles when we're comparing to it a little bit, though, is we do have to remember the Tumbler's like $180 less than the DeLorean. So it is a lot cheaper.
I think this would be my only main big vehicle. Like, if I have a Batman, I don't think I'll need a Batmobile or anything to go with them.
No, you need an 89 Batmobile. Let's be specific.
Yeah, specifically the 89
there. I don't need a Batmobile.
No, I don't.
That's what you say now, but you're going to regret it.
Where it's at.
10 years from now, you're going to be like...
And he don't need a vehicle. Yeah, I said what I said.
Chris is speaking blasphemy here. Single Songwriter says the DeLorean still makes cars, so they will be buying some of these display in their offices and showroom displays. I would hope so, dude. I mean, granted, though, weren't they just trying to like get some extra money out of the Back to the Future films recently? Like they're trying to get more of a cut for the DeLorean appearing in the movies. So I don't know if they're playing nice right now with stuff like that. Tremble Dust, good to see you. Tremble says, "Hey people, I hope you're doing well." Tremble Dust, is good to see you as always. 160's Nut says it's pretty disappointing. I guess he's talking about the light bleed. He's pretty disappointing as they could have easily fixed it. I agree. Definitely would have been an easy fix. 100% not a deal breaker. I'm just not sure why they wouldn't make that piece opaque, black to black. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a weird decision, but they probably were like, dude, we got to get this out. Let's just fix the wheels and they'll be happy. And they were right, obviously. In a perfect world, they would have fixed that. And that would have brought my 90% maybe up to like a 93%, 95%. But that's okay. I can live with that.
Well, you got to remember, though, I know that there's some of that, but they still are catching up from old figures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trying to get caught up right now. So,
yeah.
If we want to get a really good Wonder Woman figure, we might have to put up with them having to cut a little bit of development on the DeLorean to make sure stuff gets out and other stuff looks nice at the end of the day. You know, there's only so much time, manpower, material, and stuff. So I'm willing to give them a little bit of a break. As long as they, if the next couple of stuff they have coming out here at the same time was under protection, looks like trash, that's a different story. Wow, he looks happy.
So I was about to say, I hope this is what we all look like when we get our DeLorean. So guys, this is actually the first review, apart from what Sideshow did. This is the first in-hand review in Hong Kong of the DeLorean. Now, again, I have not watched this video, so I don't know exactly what he shows off. I quickly skimmed through it, but look at the size of the box alone, guys. That just tells you. But this guy, look at him. He's a big Back to the Future fan. He's really excited to get his DeLorean. You could tell by the look on his face.
My wife will not be that happy when this comes home.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You with the mech test was already. Imagine this one.
Ryan's like thinking about. He's like, can I build another shed in the backyard that I could live in temporarily? Like, what can I do? Maybe bring the DeLorean in parts. Like, Ryan's
I have a potbelly stove in my garage, so I'm like, I can live out there for the winter, get a couple fire logs.
There you go. You'll just be making hot dogs and some eggs.
You just make a whole 1/6 town in the garage and like have the DeLorean run under the wire and whatnot.
This guy's got everything, right? He's got the little die-cast model of the DeLorean. He's got the Funko Pop with Marty sticking out. This guy's a big Back to the Future fan, it looks like. So he's really excited. Let's move forward a little bit in the video. It looks like he's talking for quite a while. Yeah, he's got his Fast and the Furious Legos.
To Thick Bantha Boy real quick, about the N1, I kind of prefer the Phantom Menace N1. I feel like for Mando, I would want like the swoop bike or something.
Dude, you are like seriously losing stock right now. First, your blasphemy on the Batmobile, and then this freaking crummy little shit.
Collecting.
What the yellow colored freaking Phantom Menace and what is better than the
Banana
Mando
Fighter?
One. Yeah.
The Banana Fighter.
Yeah, my dog's pissed off at you now too. What the hell?
He's supposed to be collecting madness, but he's not really being that mad.
Is where
it's more like conservative madness right now.
If they did Anakin Starfighter like they teased so many years ago, then we'll talk. Because that's what I really
according to a certain new person that showed up on a stream, we're getting that. That's coming, and everything else is coming too. I mean, I was just laughing when I reviewed that, and it was just. I'm sure like if you order, Hot Toys does, what is it called? Breaking Bad. We're probably going to get like some type of like, what is it? Where it's like acid destroyed ceiling tile as part of the diorama. I'm sure that's coming too now and all that other stuff. Who
knows, man?
Well, hey, Think Bat the Boy agrees with Chris. So, there's two for the pile to get chased around with torches and rakes.
Yeah, so we've got hey, the Naboo. So guys, we're gonna stop right now. It's not the N1, it's the Naboo Starfighter. Get it right. But yes, I would love to see it, but personally though, the N1 is on my list right now. And here's why, guys. Like, we don't have that many releases yet from Phantom Menace. So if they gave us more Phantom Menace stuff, then I'd be like, cool. Keep giving us more Phantom Menace, or keep giving us vehicles and stuff for Phantom Menace. But I want to see more figures from Phantom Menace. Like if we get that
Obi-Wan
Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan, Queen Amidala. Like if you start giving us that stuff, young Anakin, Jake Lloyd Anakin, Jar Jar.
Oh, geez, no.
Dude,
I would take Jar Jar.
I'm not a fan of Jar Jar, but I would buy Jar Jar
any day.
A lot of people would
day,
too. Even people who don't even care for the prequels said they would buy them.
Right, any day.
I love that they have the straps. I love they have the straps.
But I know this is a really cool thing. And I know they've done this before in the past with some of the larger stuff, but this is also like very statue-esque, right? And also David, by the way, David said his wife was thrilled when the tumbler showed up. She said, WTF. Yeah, it doesn't seem too thrilled. It sounds like
just like when my mech test Tony showed up, my wife was happy.
Yeah, you may have gotten in trouble. It sounds like you got in trouble that day.
That sounds like a wife with a mop chasing after you. She tries to whack you on the head. The reaction right before.
And the excuse when you say, listen, and which is true, I bought this figure 2.5 years ago. The money's been gone already, like that kind of excuse. Like it's not like I bought it yesterday.
I got a deal on it.
Yeah, no, the money's been gone for 2.5 years. That doesn't work.
Joe P. Yeah, I think Ryan's tactic is he just leaves it on the porch and hopes that his wife doesn't pick it up. But sometimes
I was 5 minutes away from getting home.
Yeah, dude, he almost made it. But unfortunately, he did not. He got in big trouble for that one. But yeah, let's continue with the video, guys. That's true. Single songwriter. He says, buy her a gold fancy ring. Like, yeah, I mean, if Ryan, maybe when this is about to show up, buy her something nice, give it to her, and she'll forget all about the DeLorean. Maybe
She's the most non-materialistic woman I've ever seen in my life.
And then
God bless her.
You're just screwed then. You're just
yeah, no, I'm 100% screwed. There's just no awareness.
Take her on a trip or go somewhere.
We're going to Cabo next
like
month, so I'm running out of excuses.
Get a hotel, you know, that has like one of those. You're gonna stop me right there.
I'm kidding. It was a joke.
Matt, we're not going to talk about
Anyways,
we're not
that has a jacuzzi either inside the room or on the patio outside of it. And then when you come home, be like, honey, did you get this for me? And your DeLorean sitting outside.
Jazzy said last summer that he'd be willing to do the Anakin Starfighter. So
yeah, we'll see.
If
I'm not going to hold my breath for stuff like that because that's such a like a release that's not very marketable, and I feel like it. I know Phantom Menace has a lot of fans, including myself, but I just don't think it's very marketable, and a lot of companies may not consider doing it.
There, frame
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's big enough. It's big enough to be a poster for sure.
You know, it's one thing that people.
I think if they make the N1, they'll have the mold to
that's a nice
do
picture,
the Naboo Starfighter.
The instructions look nice,
and I think people would buy it.
Oh, there you go. From Billy Joel himself, divorce your wife, problem solved.
That is always a good idea.
From the piano man.
If your marriage is working, though, I don't suggest you follow that advice.
Exactly. There you go, David. See, David knows how it is. David knows how it is. He said he grabbed her a new Coach purse. That's what you got to do, guys. I see. For me, I've been talking about the DeLorean for months, so my girlfriend already knows I'm getting it. I'm good. The Band-Aid's always been. Her parents even know how much the DeLorean is, so it's like I can't hide it. They already know, so we're good.
The what's interesting about this, which it's talked about sometimes, but like whoever's getting it, would you keep the box and the packaging, or would you just toss this?
Heck
thing?
yeah, you know I'm a box guy, man. I gotta keep the box.
I'm throwing it all out.
I keep all my boxes. They all
the
go.
Only thing I'll keep is the instructions look good. It looks like the instructions were printed on the back of that card. I'll keep that, but I have no place for this box. There's nothing. Yeah. Even though the box does look nice, like the brown shipper that they actually cleaned it up and made it look presentable. I got no place to store this except maybe the garage, but
yeah,
this thing is massive.
Erwin said, see, I already have the box to the HasLab Razor Crest in my attic, and that's already massive. So I'm like, I might as well put it. What's one more box? You know?
I love how happy this guy looks.
Yeah, I know. He's knocking stuff over like
LeBron.
Me.
LeBron. Who was that? LeBron or Kobe? Who do we lose?
Oh my
no!
gosh.
Oh no!
Look at that, man! Isn't that just seen in the plastic
beautiful.
there?
You can tell it's got some weight, man.
Guys, 71 people in the chat right now. If you haven't already, drop a like on this video. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing, guys? Subscribe to the Hot Toys Hotline. We'd really appreciate it. We got to get to that 750 goal, guys. We're right around the corner.
I mean, this thing still weighs probably about 15 to 17 pounds. So it's still, not heavy, but you're gonna feel it.
It's a serious
so
piece, dude.
Happy.
I know. I love seeing people this excited about stuff. This is what collecting is all about, guys. And again, you could tell the video. He's not speaking English, so I have the audio turned off because we're not going to understand what he's saying. But I could just tell by the facial expressions he's really hyped about this. And this is what collecting is all about, right? This is what collecting is all about: is sharing the love of collecting with people. It looks like he's a shoe collector as well. I've never seen his channel before. Let's see. We got some more comments.
I like that with the mesh.
Yeah, so it was
bands.
So they did that on the first one as well. It has that metal mesh on those flux bands, so I think that's really cool too. It's glad we love metal as collector. Let's be real.
Now, not to be negative, which I will. I'll be negative, but it's like why hide? But one of the things that I was talking about that I don't think was really touched on was technically, if we're being technical, the flux bands should have lighting on them that light up blue. Right, they're just metal bands that go on the car. But technically, when it goes through time or whatever it is, those light up like an ice blue is what it is, not a real like an ice blue. So they should have lighting all around the car as well. But that would have raised the price on it for more lighting.
Yeah, it would have been cool to get some effects, I guess, around the car for making it look like it went.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Then again, it's like, how long would you really display it like that? Because then I feel like it would take away from looking at the car itself.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. David said, "See, David, you're thinking ahead, man. If your wife ever sees this comment section, you covered yourself." He said, "Kidding aside, my wife loves the collection, very supportive,
Well, see,
and she's hot."
I'm getting nervous because last night she started talking to me about getting collector's insurance. So now I'm concerned.
Yeah, maybe here you might be losing your stuff here soon.
Might be
Ryan.
losing it.
Be prepared, man.
My fiance's got her own figures now. She's even starting to be like, "Ooh, I like this. You should get this one."
That's funny. It would be a sin to throw this box out, Ryan. That's what Commander
No, I
Crew's saying.
won't even give it a second thought.
Stone the center. Foul at the Kobe drop. Yeah, poor Kobe. Rest in peace, man. Blurred Dad Life. Good to see you, by the way. He says, I will admire it and congratulate all who picked this up. I have the Diamond Select Delorean and got it signed by Christopher Lloyd and Leia Thompson. Dude, that's amazing, dude. Like,
Nice.
I can't imagine having a Christopher Lloyd autograph in my collection. That'd be a total grail for me, man.
I like the
If
spare
you could-
wheel too.
If you could go get something signed for this, Chris, from your DeLorean or here, what would you actually get signed by? Like if you could get it by Christopher Lloyd or any of the main cast, even Biff or whoever, like the actors from the movie trilogy, who would you get?
You're
To sign
saying
it, and where would you
who
get
I
it?
would get signed?
No, Connor. If you could get signed by any of the
Definitely a
main
print, because
actors.
I collect signed prints already, like for Star Wars. All of my prints
No,
are Star Wars
I mean
related,
from the 6-scale figure thing here released. What would you have them sign?
I would get
Would you have
a
them sign
I would
the
get
car?
I would get a separate plaque
Somebody
that goes
signed
with
that
it.
hood that Connor wasn't a fan of.
No, I've
least
said
on the
this to you guys
inside of
before. I don't like items being signed like directly. Like when people get like Hot Toys bases signed, it's just not for me. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not for me.
I like when people get the art boxes, the art sleeve signed sometimes.
The
If it's a
sleeve
nice
is cool,
art
yeah,
sleeve.
because you can frame that, right? And it looks
Yeah.
really cool. Actually, there's a gentleman in my Discord, a friend of mine, and he's TK in the chat. He has I believe it's him. Correct me if I'm wrong, TK, but I think you're the one that has the Commander Cody print signed, like the sleeve. It may have been you, if I remember correctly. HKS says, don't reference death about a deaf people if you can't remember his name. I don't know if you're talking about when I was talking about Kobe Bryant falling off the shelf. I didn't see who it was. I didn't know if it was LeBron or Kobe. I just saw the Lakers jersey. So if that's what you're talking about, I just didn't see whose face it was. But all right. Let's see what else we got here.
Wow, that bleed on the top is really like significant.
It's very prevalent. Yeah, let's
Like you don't even see it under. You don't see. I mean, that's
see on the underside. It looks fine.
You barely see it on. And that's natural lighting, but
So yeah, we'll
it
pull
spins
around. Oh, of course. Come on. The moment it gets to what we want to see.
I'd have to assume it's so bad because that's the light, like literally that's the light source right there versus it being like if you think about the inner side of the wheel, that is probably the physical light source. So it's shining through the bottom. So that's why it's so relevant looking at it that way, because that is probably the light source. Like
You guys talking about the rim?
the yellow.
Well, yes,
you see
the
yellow.
upper side is not supposed to be like the light's not supposed to bleed through like that. It's supposed to be.
I think that's like the full light source, and it's pushing it through the bottom side versus, and it's just so close. Like that's why it's so pronounced. It's very pronounced. Like it's more than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, David, a lot of people who especially have larger collections definitely I know Don, I don't know if Don's still in the chat, but Don like highly recommends getting collector's insurance as well. Blackbird Texas, I don't have a significant other, so I'm good. My kid though is always in all of the collectibles. That's awesome, dude. When you and like Ryan especially can attest to this because he shares like a close bond with his daughter, especially through his collecting stuff. And that's awesome that you're able to share that with your kid. That's really cool. I love seeing that, man. Peyton, good to see you, man.
My daughter collects Hot Toys also.
Yeah, and it's really cool to be able to share that, and it's especially when you spend all this money, you have somebody to share it with, it's a lot of money. And when you could include your kid in it and make a hobby out of it for them as well, it's really cool to see, man. Collector's insurance for burning you and your collection for her to cash in.
Sounds about right.
I hope not, dude. I hope we're not having any collection arson cases. I don't want to hear about that. Oiler said I would get Christopher Lloyd to sign the door or hood. Yeah, see, for me, that would be cool because it's something you want from me. I don't like items being signed. I'm just a big fan of either plaques or prints, but that's just my personal taste,
My base for C-3PO wasn't bad.
No, I don't think it looks bad. It's just not. It's my personal taste. I'm like, I don't want anything on the item.
I wouldn't sign that.
Black.
Yeah, not the actual item, but like, I don't know. It depends on the base because that.
See, Joe said
it or whatever.
Yeah, Joe said he'd never have somebody desecrate this baby. I hear you, Joe.
Yeah, that that yellow's really.
It's very, very pronounced. You could see actually
on the back exhaust, the back.
You could see the screws, and you could see that piece. It's like a frosted plastic almost, and you could see that bleed through. So if they would have just made that plastic a little bit darker, it would have. But my thought is, like, I'm wondering, like, did they make it a darker plastic, and then the light wasn't like shining through like they wanted it? Like, I really don't understand the decision on that personally. But again, it's not. We're nitpicking here, and then of course the missing lights on the rear here is very confusing as well. It's like, did they run out of like resources to do more lighting, or they just say, you know, it's mostly correct? I don't know where they made that decision, but nonetheless, guys, I don't want to sound like I'm upset about this overall. This is such a beautiful release. I'm very, very excited to see it in person and kind of get my impressions there when I get it in person. But
I do like the green sequential lights on the bottom too. And
it is interesting, like, and we had talked about this on Geeking Out, but like they didn't do the time circuit flashes. But they did the flux capacitor, they did the underside lights.
The Christmas tree doesn't move
exactly.
either.
The Christmas tree doesn't move either. So it's interesting for sure.
There's definitely give and takes. It's one of those things where it's like you're happy about it, but it's like, all right, sacrifices were definitely made on the car to get it to where it is now, which is still one thing to consider from when this was announced, which was when February of last year. It's just about a year, right?
Yeah.
So from a year from announcement to release to fixing it and then release, like that is pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that's quick for Hot Toys.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I actually want to slow this down because we see an actual collector doing the wheels. I wasn't paying attention to that. Let me let's see this in. Let's do 0.5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see, because we saw Sideshow do it, so it just pulls out. Dude, that mechanism seems very sturdy. You saw that snap though?
There's a ratchet there.
Yeah, it seems like it's a very sturdy ratchet. So hopefully that holds up over time, because it seems pretty sturdy, man. I like that. That I do like.
I think
Very
Hot
nice.
Toys was working on this before they actually announced it, because they knew it was going to be a hot item. I think they were probably
Very
at least
possible,
6 months into production working on it.
It's very possible. Yeah,
I would agree with that. They dug out the old one just for the sake of.
Yeah, that was a theory that a lot of people had.
Yeah,
and I do like that though. I do like that the wheels are on a different circuit and you have a separate button from the main vehicle lights. I do think that's a cool choice from Hot Toys, especially for people that are modding this vehicle and they want to swap out the lights and the wheels or anything. It'll make it easier for them to do.
That is so nice with the lighting and stuff.
It's beautiful, man.
And it's USB,
really
which is fantastic.
And it's USB-C specifically, which is like ideal, because you can get those flat USB-C cables if you want to get a better. Because it doesn't. I don't think it includes the USB. Most of the Hot Toys products say that they don't include the USB. But it's beautiful, man.
I was going to say, because I thought that was a white cable that came with it.
Oh, so that it actually does come with the cable for the DeLorean. I would hope so for $825. I just know a lot of the Hot Toys stuff, they say they don't include the USB. But maybe that's just the figures.
Yeah, which is going to be sad for like when that Iron Man Silver Centurion comes out and you paid $500 for that.
Yeah, and you got to buy the cable. Same with the Mark 1. The Mark 1's really expensive, and I don't believe that comes with the cable either. Some guy says, let's go hit that like button and subscribe. So close to 700. Yes, guys, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. 73 people, guys. I can't believe it. Really,
I'm all right with the cable, because I would need a black one for my display, because that white cable would stick out too much in our display.
That's true.
All black,
I'm going to try to find one of those really flat ones where the actual cable is like a ribbon.
Yes.
So it's just easier to hide. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. So he said it does not include the cable, so I'm not shocked by that.
Oh, that's good then. I wouldn't care about it being
USB connecting cable is not included for this collectible. Micro USB cable is required. That I feel like that's changed, because I thought when we looked at the video the other day, it looked like USB-C. So maybe they updated that. I would hope so. Like, come on, stop. If you're using micro USB Hot Toys, you got to get with the times, man. But I think they did update that. I think it is USB-C now.
I mean, it's still cool that you can have the option.
Oh yeah, very
either
cool.
like just.
I would argue it
or
essential.
whatever, and, like,
I would argue essential,
even though it'd probably be a pain, but yeah, it's still cool.
That's true. That's true. D's nuts, because I feel like they probably would have included a more discrete cable than a white one for sure. I would agree with that. Let's see, I don't think he covers much more, but yeah, I mean, that's about all we have to cover about the DeLorean, guys. We're just kind of waiting to see when these ship out from Sideshow. I'm guessing it's probably going to be definitely after Chinese New Year, because Chinese New Year is what, like the 23rd, 24th, something like that, 25th, around that time. So it's right around the corner. I would be very surprised if they got these out before Chinese New Year, but I highly doubt that. I think we'll probably see it in February or March going into that time, but. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking, like a ribbon cable. Matt says, "Hey guys, just a disclaimer: your cable figure will not work to power the DeLorean. So it's not the same cable. It's not a USB. It's not the same thing. We got a USB-C cable and we got a cable from Deadpool 2. So just a disclaimer. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. But yeah, guys.
Oh, I get it because he's cable.
Exactly. There you go. It took you a little bit, Chris. It took you a little bit. But guys, it's time to move on to what I think is one of the more exciting announcements, really the past year, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, guys. Yes, sir. We're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the General Kenobi figure, guys. That is what we are talking about.
Kenobi.
Yes, and this is, guys, this is a figure that we've been hoping and praying for how long now? Ever since we got that first tease. Obviously, we already have the General Anakin Skywalker in hand. We've been waiting so long for this figure, guys, and it's finally here. Now, along with this figure, there came some questions in the community, and actually, I posted a video. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I posted a video on my top once from this Clone Wars 20th anniversary line from Hot Toys. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, there's the Clone Wars, which is Dave Filoni's series, and then there's Clone Wars, the Tartakovsky series that aired on Cartoon Network in 2003. So this is based on
series.
Exactly. So it has like a 3-season show. That this line is supposed to be mainly based on the 20th anniversary series of the 2003
series.
Clone Wars. Exactly.
Yeah, they weren't so much story focused. They were like 5 or 6 minute episodes. Why they called it the micro? It was almost like the old Merry Melodies, like the Looney Tunes, where they would have the short film. That's what they were like. But this is, I think, an amazing figure because it's kind of it's awesome. To me, it's a little bit weird because it feels like kind of a weird amalgamation of the micro series.
So I was going to say that's exactly what I wanted to talk about because there was a guy. I'm sorry I forgot your name. I doubt he's watching, but there was a guy on Facebook, and I was kind of talking about how this was like and I used the word hybrid, and maybe that wasn't the best wording. What I should have said was this takes lineage from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series because when you actually look at it, there's really no parts directly taken from the Tartakovsky series, right?
Yeah.
But when I say lineage, I mean like he has the clone helmet. Yes, it's not the same clone helmet as the one in the Tartakovsky series, but he also has the brown cloak, right? So going off of that, Lane, what are your thoughts on the fact that this is really a Clone Wars figure, but it has lineage to the Tartakovsky series? Yeah. Do you think that's kind of a cop-out, or do you think my thoughts are, and maybe you have the similar thought, I think maybe Hot Toys gave us this version because they knew like everybody was waiting for this one, and if they gave us that other version, it would definitely upset a lot of people who are waiting for this one. Do you think maybe that's why they went this direction?
I think for this one, it just feels like, I mean, the 20th anniversary for the micro series, honestly, I don't think a lot of people remember the micro series, quite honestly, because we've had 7 seasons, we had the Filoni Clone Wars. That's what people think about.
Right.
Really. Although I think the micro series is on Disney Plus, highly recommend watching it. They're short episodes. It's a very fun show. And it's kind of a different take leading into Revenge of the Sith in certain respects. But I actually love this figure because it makes me think of kind of that Kenobi, like the Kenobi from the micro series, both of them. But it's almost like, I know this is going to sound a little bit weird, but it feels like Ewan McGregor cosplaying as that, Obi-Wan of the micro series, because it's a little bit different, but the armor kind of, the upper chest and stuff, the top, at least it reminds me of the Anakin armor where he's got the, the cape and stuff like that. Yeah. It feels kind of like that. But this feels like Ewan McGregor went out and cosplayed as that version of Obi-Wan with some slight changes probably to reuse some armor pieces and stuff they've already developed already. But I think this figure is great. Like,
Yeah.
I think what you were saying about, I think you need to think about this Obi-Wan figure. Think of it being as like the essence of animated Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor version, kind of all coalesced into one figure from his look in the regular Clone Wars micro series and live action version of him from the prequels, like Revenge of the Sith, kind of all put together into one figure. And I think Hot Toys did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is the Obi-Wan that a lot of people are waiting for. And I'm going to address a couple comments. But again, I want to say this does not have any direct parts from Clone Wars. This is more of a Mythos Obi-Wan The Clone Wars release with the 20th anniversary Clone Wars branding on it. Now, Daniel Q's got some opinions on this figure. He says lots of misinformation surrounding all these Clone Wars figures. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts, Daniel Q, on what the misinformation you're referring to is. But also, he also says this Obi-Wan is one of the worst figures I've ever seen, and I can't at all agree with that. I'm very curious as to why. Maybe because it's not the one that you were expecting. Is that why you would say it's the worst? Me personally, I wouldn't even put it anywhere close to that. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on why you think it's one of the worst. Because, again, we like to share all opinions here, not just the good ones. Also, if we have some bad opinions of things. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that, or also elaborate on the misinformation that you're hearing. Because, of course, we don't like to give out misinformation here. We like to clear everything up as accurately as we can. So definitely share that with us if you don't mind. Joe P says instant pre-order. Yeah, I already pre-ordered this one. I had a $20 off that was just burning a hole in my pocket. And with the Clone Wars stuff, I really don't want to wait too long to pre-order the stuff just because they're dropping these pre-orders so quick. You guys know my thoughts on that. If it's something that I want, I'm going to put in the deposit and drop a pre-order. I'm just not going to wait around anymore because we don't know what the future holds for a lot of this stuff. So that's why. Some guy says in the Cartoon Network series, I think he had longer hair and he wore full armor with a brown cloak. Yeah, so it's the Clone Wars version from Tartakovsky is a completely different look. He had the Jesus Obi-Wan hair, as we like to call it. The cape goes more over the armor. It's a completely different look. Truly, it is a different look. But again, my thoughts are this takes lineage from that because he has a clone helmet and the cape, and they're like, everybody wants this look from the Clone Wars, so they made it a hybrid release. Definitely an interesting decision. I'm not upset about it, but I know some people. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Some people on Facebook were a little upset about it, so that's why I wanted to bring it up because they made some valid points, and I thought that I wanted to bring it up to you guys. Euler says, I want this Obi-Wan body and robes from the Kenobi series. Yeah, excuse me, this Obi-Wan head. Yeah, I mean, I had mentioned this to Lane and Ryan. I was like, dude, this Obi-Wan sculpt makes the Kenobi one look worse than I thought it was. Like, I was kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, I know that sculpt wasn't great, but I'm like, I think it's good enough. Now I'm looking at this one versus the Kenobi one. I'm like, man, this really craps on that one, and that makes that one look that much worse, you know?
You want to take this one and stick it on that one, even if it does look completely accurate, because at least you go, Ewan McGregor, you've arrived.
Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
that one the Revenge of the Sith.
Hey, it's your display. If it works for you, it works for you. Kumar, how's it going? Kumar says, hi, everyone. I hope you guys are all well and good. Late due to work. Dude, you're never late. You're always on time, as I like to say. So it's good to see you as always, my friend. Let's see. Niconic TV says, I like this version of Obi-Wan. I do too, dude. I think he looks really cool. Strick says, sup, bro. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. This figure is perfectly fine. Everyone would complain if it were any other way. Yeah, I agree. However, I do understand if you're a fan of the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series, when you saw that 20th anniversary line, this is not what you were hoping for. So that, when I say that, I can understand. And me personally, again, I'm not upset with this one. Would I have preferred to see this one and the Tartakovsky version? Yes. That would have been in a perfect world. We got both. Yes. Now, my question for the panel, my question for the chat, because, again, this got brought up on Facebook when I posted my video, a gentleman, and, again, I'm so sorry I forgot your name. He kind of had the feeling that the whole line is doomed because of this. He was saying that basically he didn't think that we were going to get any true Tartakovsky design figures because of what we see here with this Obi-Wan. Now, my personal thought is, will we see some hybrid type figures apart from just this Obi-Wan? Yes, but there are some characters where they kind of have to give us as close as they can to the Tartakovsky series while making it a live action version as well. So perfect example, Captain Fordo. We only saw Captain Fordo in the Tartakovsky series, so they have to draw most of their inspiration from the Tartakovsky series. So it really depends on the character, right? Because also like Kit Fisto, guys, we have a prototype of Kit Fisto that Hot Toys has put out before, and I could see them doing the same with that. They could take that and make that a hybrid release. You guys, if you saw my video, you saw I wanted the removable shirt so we can get that buff Kit Fisto from the Tartakovsky series, but I could see them doing some more hybrid releases.
Water and stuff.
Exactly. So I could see them doing that, but if they give us the Jedi robes to give you options to display, like we got with Cable and Maul, those figures that had the option to display them shirtless, and a lot of people didn't like that. Give us the option at least, and I think they would. But again, certain figures also, if they were to give us a dirge, obviously that's wishful thinking because that's like a very big undertaking to do a figure like that. But if we did get a dirge, that would be a completely unique figure to the Tartakovsky series. So it really depends on the figure for me. That's my personal opinion. But everybody on the panel, if anyone wants to weigh in on that and kind of share your thoughts on what you think they may do with this line, feel free.
They're definitely going to mix it. I mean, they've already done it with Ahsoka, Captain Rex. I mean, they can go with Anakin. They've already kind of done their live action interpretation, but naming it from the Clone Wars or whatever. And that's just what Hot Toys does. They're more like, I guess, that realism or whatever. So that's what you're going to get. Now, I have this guy.
I think Joe P hit it right on the head with his
here.
comment.
You can get some kind of clones, like if they figured out how to do like this, where their fingertips are squared, kind of like Sideshow did. I've had this guy since I was a kid. Like I found it, and now he just sits on my shelf. But
yeah,
watching the 2003, like I think about it when I look at this guy, and there wasn't much dialogue. Like they were using their hands, and you heard the sound of the wind in the background, and they would just kill the battle droids. But there's a lot that went behind it. Like you saw Anakin become a knight, like cut his braid. You saw Mace Windu and fighting Grievous. You saw how Anakin got his scar. Like there was a lot of stuff in that micro series that was answered and led up to Revenge of the Sith. So that's why I personally like it. But
yeah, and again, I don't have any issues, and we got a lot of good comments here. So Joe P says Hot Toys was never going to go full animated style, which we know. You should have known this from the get-go, because look what we got with the Captain Rex, for example, or the Commander Cody. We didn't get an animated version of them, which everybody wanted. We got a live-action interpretation. Ahsoka Tano, a live-action interpretation.
Anakin.
Right. And now, and again, though, I do understand, though, what a lot of people's point is the interpretation of the clothing. That I do understand. Because again, if you do look at this Obi-Wan versus the other one, it's a completely different outfit. So that, trust me, that point is valid to me. It really is. But I don't personally think the whole line is doomed. Blackbird Tech also says, if you want true Tartakovsky figs, you'll need to get Hasbro's 2003 Clone Wars 3 3/4 line. Yeah, and a lot of the Hasbro stuff, even it's the same thing. It's like they're reusing molds and then putting the Clone Wars branding on it. This I don't think is going to be as extreme, though. I think we're going to see some Tartakovsky-esque figures coming out of this line. It just depends, again, on the character. It really depends on the character. Because if it's a figure that can go Attack the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, I could see them dual branding it. You know, I could absolutely see them doing that. But we just don't know. We've only seen one figure from this line. And again, this one is the most up in the air for me, because I'm like, everybody has been waiting forever for this Obi-Wan. They've been begging for it. This is like Mark 46 V2. Cyborg. People have been begging for it. So I'm not surprised they gave us this version again. It would just made more sense if they just did a Clone Wars one and a Tartakovsky or the Clone Wars one and a Tartakovsky Clone Wars one. That's just my personal thought on it.
Yeah, Daniel, Commander Cody is based off of Revenge of the Sith, but he was saying like people wanted the
they wanted the one from the Clone Wars. I didn't say Commander Cody. Like that's what I'm saying. People wanted a version of Commander Cody from the Clone Wars, but they did a live action version of Revenge of the Sith. I have the Commander Cody in my collection, so I'm very aware. I'm just telling you, if you're thinking that you're going to get animated-esque figures from Hot Toys, it's most likely not going to happen for the foreseeable future. What If is an example of them giving us direct animated adaptations, but you're not going to see that from Tartakovsky. Like you're just not going to see it. Now, I don't think that every release is going to be completely inaccurate, but they're going to do their best to it. Again, like Captain Fordo. Hopefully they give us the Phase 1 and Phase 2 looks, or at least a swap-out helmet. I know that doesn't satisfy the full Phase 2 look, but they have shown that they're willing to give us a Phase 1 and Phase 2 helmet, so they can certainly do that. Misfit says shirtless Kit Fisto with his yin yang fish belt. Yeah, exactly. Like that's how I was thinking. They could give us like if they're going to do this hybrid live action stuff, give us the full Jedi robes, but also give us an option for the shirtless look. I know a lot of people wouldn't display it that way, but I think it'd be really cool if they took a stab at it.
I would. That's actually the first time I saw Kit Fisto, and I was like, yo, this guy's crazy.
No, Daniel, I'm not asking for it. I'm saying a lot of people wanted a direct adaptation of the animated Commander Cody. So they wanted the animated head sculpt, the animated style armor. This was before we saw any of the clones from Hot Toys. That's what people were asking for. I prefer the live action stuff. Me personally. The reason I say that is because it fits better in with my personal collection. No,
Right.
So it wasn't me asking for that. I don't want the animated stuff. I want the live action adaptation because it just fits better. If you put it next to all of your other figures, like especially like say you have a Revenge of the Sith display, but you want to put your Clone Wars Captain Rex in there, it just fits, you know?
Or even the 501st, because those are technically based from Clone Wars.
Right,
as well,
exactly. And that's another good example, Chris. The 501st Troopers, those are technically Clone Wars figures, but they're in the live action adaptation of the armor. You know, they kind of beefed up the armor a little bit.
The closest you're going to get is like Bad Batch figures. Like, I mean, where they kind of use a live action, but use the basis for the animated. Like, you can see in Hunter, in the facial sculpt, you can see the animated look style to him, but they're using Tamura Morrison's actual face to help be the basis of it.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get. That's what you're getting here. You're getting, I mean, Tartovsky's Obi-Wan doesn't really look like Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan, really. You know, it's a distinct style for that.
Exactly.
Plus, I also think if they went full-on animated now, it would just stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely would. It absolutely would. And so go ahead, Lane, and then I'll finish my point.
I just, from Hot Toys, you have to understand you're going to get kind of at best a mix. I mean, even the What If still has kind of, even though they're animated general look, they still are based off of kind of realistic proportion to a certain extent. Like even Captain Carter, there is, you know, the actress who played Peggy Carter, kind of her facial stuff live action is mixed in there with the like larger animated cheeks and stuff like that, you know? But I think this Obi-Wan is great. I mean, I think it is a great, maybe more like you were saying, mythos style figure, but I think it is what you never got to see. What would a Clone War, you know, an animated Obi-Wan, you know, an animated Obi-Wan look like if it was actually, you know, Ewan McGregor actually physically there? This is your answer. Like, it makes that. I think it should appease a lot of people.
Right. And Daniel, we've never seen Captain Rex in live action, so it's an adaptation of what the Captain Rex from live action would look like.
Yeah,
right? So I understand it's inaccurate, but that is Hot Toys product. They put out lifelike products. So because of that, they decided to do a live action adaptation. It's live action adapted. It's not directly from live action because we've never seen Commander Cody in live action.
Cody was all CGI. Let's not forget all of the clones in Revenge of the Sith.
So this still doesn't answer the original question to Daniel. What's wrong with the figure that it's not animated? Is that the issue?
So this is the last time I'll address this particular point. It's again, what I'm saying is I prefer a live action look. Sure, they may have taken parts from the animated series, but where else would they take it from?
I get what
he's never
you're
been
talking
on screen.
about.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're talking about, but he made like a couple comments in the beginning, and one of them was the figure is the most awful looking figure Obi-Wan that we have. What's wrong with the figure that it's not a direct animated like style that's supposed to look like? If that's the case, then that's personal preference. But if you're going from a technicality standpoint, it's the best head sculpt of Ewan McGregor yet. It's a live action figure, and if you did animated, this would never sell. Animated doesn't sell. The only animated figures that Hot Toys have done that I would say sold were the Into the Spider-Verse, because that movie was fun. You know,
that's why the old Sideshow figure. I mean, I don't know if I would say they wouldn't sell, but I don't think they would sell as well as what we've received, right?
It would stick out like a sore thumb, though, because you already have an Anakin that this is going to pair with, so they've already gone down that path. So I'm kind of confused.
I agree with Matt to just leave the animated to Sideshow.
Yeah, and also
leave it to Sideshow.
Also, if you guys want it, this just sums up everything. You never go full animated.
Yeah.
But my brother, because he pointed out that pauldron thing for people who like the accuracy of certain things, like, because I know it does bug, and there are some things I've done in the past where we all have to edit a figure or do something that we shouldn't have to for paying this amount of money. if you want the realistic part, like he 3D printed one, so like all that stuff can be fixed and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's like, Daniel, if you like the animated look, I totally understand your point, but at the same time, like Hot Toys is going to do what the masses want, and the masses want something that goes in their current collection. Now, I can't, and I'm sure you may be familiar with them because it seems like you're very versed on clones. Watto's Scrapyard did a beautiful animated Captain Rex sculpt. If you could swap out some of the parts and kind of make it to your liking, I'm sure that would be an amazing custom. It's just, I understand why Hot Toys does these live action adaptations where they pick and choose what parts to include here and there, and then they make it more adaptable to your current displays. I understand it. I know that a lot of people were really, really hoping to see animated stuff from the Clone Wars. And unfortunately, and another, to your credit, Daniel, another thing is Sideshow promised us that, and look what happened, right? The Sideshow animated figures were not up to par. So I trust me, I get it, dude. I really do.
Well, let's be fair. So far for Sideshow's animated figures,
right? So far, I have faith in the Cad Bane. That's the one I do have faith in. That figure looks beautiful. So hopefully they deliver with that one. I've already given up on the Ahsoka because they painted the skin on the pants. That's where they lost me. But I do think I have faith in the Cad Bane. I really do. Possibly D's nuts, but again, it's a lot of decisions that Hot Toys makes. Look at all of these figures. None of them are 100% accurate. And something that's, again, they're adapting it to live action. They're going to pick and choose parts here and there. It's not going to be accurate because they're adapting. Like Captain Rex is a perfect example. They're taking animated features to a live action body. They're going to make decisions based on that makes it inaccurate, right? Because they're scaling it up to a live action body when it's not a character that's been in live action. So of course it's inaccurate.
Isn't that what people hated about? What were the clones that were in Attack of the Clones that they ended up making realistic? Was it the 501st?
Yeah.
They ended up making that real, and everyone said they looked fat, but it was like they made it look like a realistic.
So the Kenobi 501st Troopers is what you're talking about.
Yeah, those they were all CGI, and then they made them look real, like a real person would be in them, and they looked fatter, and everyone complained that they looked heavier.
So in Kenobi, it was actually people in armor, right?
Because it's live action. So and they mimicked that.
It looks like their armor. Now, those aren't 100% accurate either, but that's the reason that they're thicker and they have a thicker body. Yeah. Because it's supposed to be like a real person wearing the armor.
And the weapons are also a little bit thinner than like the.
But guys, we're going to get back on track. I appreciate you all answering the questions on your thoughts on this line and everything. And Daniel, I could tell you have a lot of passion for it. Daniel says, this will be the final question that we're going to keep talking about Kenobi. He said, what are y'all going to think when we end up seeing a live action young Ahsoka? It's been rumored that there's going to be flashback scene to young Ahsoka in the Ahsoka show. It's going to be a live action interpretation of Ahsoka, just like what we got from The Mandalorian. I think that figure looks beautiful. I think it looks great. I think Rosario Dawson looked awesome. So, I mean, I'll be excited to see that as a figure. Obviously, in a perfect world for me, Sideshow would have nailed this animated line because that was their intention of it, right? We're basically going to base these figures exactly what they look like on the screen. It's going to be the animated interpretation as best we can. And obviously, it seems like they fell short so far with the Anakin and the Obi-Wan and the Ahsoka as well, right? So I was really having hope in that line. So I'm like, I can have my live action interpretation stuff from Hot Toys and then the animated stuff from Sideshow. I still have faith in the Cad Bane, but the rest of the line, I'm going to leave alone unless I can get it for a really cheap deal, you know?
So, real quick to get back on track with Obi-Wan, I just thought of a thing.
Yeah, we're getting back to Obi-Wan. Again, thank you so much, Daniel, for the comments, because it's good to talk about this type of stuff.
If this one's going to have the LED lightsaber, you think it's going to be weird next year, Anakin? Because he doesn't have it, right?
I do. And Ryan, I think it might have been Ryan that brought this up. He's like,
oh, really? He mentioned it too?
Well, I think, Ryan, were you the one that said, wouldn't it be cool if Hot Toys started offering like lightsabers? There's just like just the USB lightsaber.
They'll never do it because it's a too small of a market. But I always liked it if they did like an accessory lightsaber pack where like you could buy just individual USB lightsabers. Like if you want an updated Dooku, you want a Darth Vader or a Luke, you could just buy the lightsabers from them. I mean,
I remember you saying that. That would be dope.
And that's where
I think the market share wouldn't be big enough for them to do that. But it does stink that the cutoff for certain figures like this, like you'll have like there's a photo of him and Anakin together. And I'm not even like Clone Wars. Like that's why I'm keeping quiet because I'm not an expert on any of the stuff you guys are talking about. But there is one photo of him and Anakin together that I'm like, oh, that sold me on it. So I was like, I love it. It looks great.
Oh, yeah,
you know what though? Anakin's attire changes enough in the Clone Wars series where they could come out with another Anakin.
Yeah.
And have that option. so it's not a complete.
Not just
Matt-
that, but
Yeah,
if the USB lights here, if they're just going to be the same light effect that we get with the little button cells anyway, it's just powered now. People are probably still going to buy a CFL or whatever they are, CCFL.
To make them match
Anyway.
for sure.
Right.
Especially for like, look, if we get another Luke Skywalker, which I really do think we will for Return of the Jedi anniversary, he's going to have a USB saber, and then you're going to tell me you're not going to get a USB saber for the.
Dude,
I
the
cannot
other
wait
Vaders
if
in
we
your
get
collection.
a green USB saber.
Up a Luke too.
Yeah, if you don't have a Return of the Jedi Vader in your collection and you want to use another Vader, you're going to tell me you're not going to get a CFL for him. You will, to make him look right. I want to address this comment from Oilers real quick. He says, sometimes we have things that we think aren't right, but it really is a matter of personal preference. We act like Star Wars has the perfect design canon that needs to be followed. But yeah, I agree. But and sometimes like some people are more into accuracy than others. Me, it's like if it's mostly there, I'm happy. And Daniel, kudos to you as well. I appreciate the conversation. Again, it's good to hear both sides of things. And I do understand some of your points. I truly do. Do you think we would get a 2.0? Brandon, that's a loaded question, my friend. That's a loaded question.
Oh.
So, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pull it off here. So, me personally, do I think we'll see one? Yes. Do I think that we're going to see one anytime soon? I don't know, because here's the scenarios, right? We got two paths we could take, right, for that Revenge of the Sith, Dark Side Anakin reissue. It's either we get Kenobi or we get Revenge of the Sith, right? So it's like we saw those photos of Kenobi, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's our Revenge of the Sith style Dark Side Anakin. We're getting Dark Side Anakin again." And me personally, I was openly saying I don't think that was any indication, because it didn't appear that anything was different, right? Now that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just based simply on that photo. We can't just say, "Oh, it's going to happen." Like perfect example, the DeLorean. The DeLorean just released, and they teased us with those Back to the Future Part 2 Doc and Marty. Those figures aren't going to re-release anytime soon, I'm sure. Because that's no indication of it, right? They could do it, but that doesn't mean that they're going to re-release anytime soon. They do that a lot. They tease us a lot, guys. So you got to keep that in mind. Don't get your hopes up. But Brandon, it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Like obviously that's on their radar. It's just, especially with Star Wars, the 2.0s and reissues don't happen as often as Marvel. So we got to take it with a grain of salt when we see photos like that pop up.
Marvel, Iron Man,
and name it Darth Vader.
Iron Man, especially, yeah. Iron Man is just, they just pump out Iron Mans.
For real.
Hey, Ekwan, to Sideshow's credit, I do really like the non-Star Wars stuff. Like the Eric Draven, the Crow, I always talk very highly of that figure. I love that figure. The horror figures from Sideshow are very nicely done. They're not perfect by any means, but I think they're really nicely done. So it really depends on what you get from Sideshow. I am getting the Dirty Harry as well as the Man with No Name. So I will, of course, let you guys know what I think of those. But generally speaking, I think they're pretty nice figures. It's just the Star Wars ones, for some reason, get the short end of the stick. But like Lane said, we're not completely out of the game yet. We still have Ahsoka. We still have Yoda, which he actually looks pretty promising. And we also have that Cad Bane, which that Clone Wars Cad Bane, man, that's the one we wanted forever, So I'm really excited to see that one. I'll definitely be, at the very least, picking that, even if he has to just be by himself. The only animated figure, I'll make an exception for Cad Bane,
I will say for the line that Ahsoka animated, it looks pretty awful. Like back with the prototype,
they painted her skin on her pants. I'm like, that's really goofy, man. You couldn't at least give her like a orange
now that could
body?
be, that felt like maybe that prototype was rushed to get it there, but like, at least the Anakin and Obi prototypes look pretty good, but you have like the Yoda. That animated Yoda looks amazing.
Yoda looks the best one to me.
Like, yeah. And, of course, he could end up... the problem is the Anakin and Obi-Wan kind of ended up not great. And that kind of makes you go... The two main guys, like the two main characters pretty much of the show that you're basing that on, except for Ahsoka, or maybe two of the three main characters that are, were running throughout pretty much... almost the entire thing.
Exactly.
You mess up the first two.
Right, so it makes you kind of lose faith in the whole line, right? You mess up Anakin and Obi-Wan, you mess up the Chosen One. Like,
in some ways you could almost, and I'm not saying they would, but if, let's say, those came out really spectacular, Ahsoka was good and Yoda was good, but Cad Bane came up a little messed up or something, that almost I could understand a little bit, just because of, time and effort, who are they thinking going to sell more? those characters and stuff probably than Cad Bane. But
Yeah.
the main two guys who probably would sell the most, they just kind of. So, I mean, are you going to spend $250 on Hot Toys money? Like
Right.
now we can literally say, even though like this guy is more, and he just got announced.
And he's $279, but he comes with a lot more value, right, for your money.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's $24 more than they are. I think they were $255 or something like that.
I believe you're right.
But,
yeah.
But I mean okay, it's $25. We're already spending $250 plus. My variation and how much when you're already spending a certain amount. If something's $25 more, I kind of put them in the same range there. It's not a huge jump from going from one to the other. Those came out like they did. Now, they may have been improved a little bit since that initial batch or something, and maybe those were just really awful. But we can look at this Obi-Wan and just go, so for $24 more, I can buy this figure, now and have to spend a little bit more, maybe have to wait a while, versus some that are available, but of the same, technically characters that they screwed up. So why would you go have to invest similar money, maybe not quite as much, but similar money into that line, when you could just something you have a known quantity for,
right, and
would be a little better.
The thing is, too, is like these figures, specifically the Sideshow animated figures, that's a lot of R&D because they're doing special bodies for them. They're brand new bodies. It's pulling, again, directly from the screen. It's that look. So it's like, it's a lot of R&D. So I'm surprised it turned out how it did. And Maz,
think they would be better. Yeah,
I agree. Maz, I don't want to discourage you because I know you love these figures. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't want to bring this up, but it just came in a conversation. I know some people have great experience with these figures, and if you guys love them, I mean, more power to you. It's just
Some
for me
people
personally.
said they were better in hand.
I was just a little disappointed with the paint apps from what I could see in the photos. The skin tones seemed way off from the original prototype, but I'm very happy that you enjoy yours. And me personally, if I can find them for a pretty cheap deal, like I'm talking like someone's like, I need money. I'll give you both of them for $200. The Anakin and Obi-Wan, I'll take them. For $200, I'd take them, like $200 for the pair. Obviously, that's very wishful thinking, but guys, I mean, deals like that pop up every once in a while. You never know. Steve, it's I don't know if I would use the word garbage. I just don't think they're up to par. Like when you look at the prototype, it was phenomenal, and then when you look at the final, you're like, what happened? Like Anakin's skin tone changed, at least based on the photos. I don't have it in hand, of course, but that's just my thoughts. HG says, I love this Kenobi. I'm going to be popping that clone helmet on. Oh, dude, I already know you're putting that helmet on, dude. That's totally your style. If a Commander Cody 2.0 came out, I would get that, no doubt. Has Commander Gree ever had a figure release? Probably not even in the Sideshow line, right?
I think he was.
HG would know. Did he ever get a release in the Sideshow line? I'm not totally versed in the original Sideshow line. I know most of the figures, but not all.
I think he was. I'm pretty sure he was in the Sideshow line.
Oh, okay, there we go. Gree. Oh, he's talking about. Okay, Gree was released in the Sideshow line around 13 years ago.
God, man, it helps you feel old, baby.
It's been a minute.
Sideshow did everything, bro.
Yeah. You know what I would kind of really like to see. It makes me wonder with if they were to do Cody or something like that. I still want ARC Troopers. I know people like Fordo and some of those guys. I'm kind of I just want Fives and Echo or like the ARC Troopers. To me,
I want Fives so bad, dude, and Echo too. But man.
Yeah, especially Fives, especially since obviously we know what happened with him, and it's such a. He unfortunately had one of the more depressing fates.
And he could have had such an impact, man. He could have had such an impact.
But I think like I want those guys kind of from Hot Toys, but I say at the same time, I look at kind of, to me, how much I would really want like a figure of them really depends on how Jesse comes out and because I'm concerned, that was a issue a little bit with Rex. It was just because of the way his stuff works on his armor, moving his upper body and posing. That's my concern with Jesse. Like ARC Troopers, what do you guys think of when you think about them? You think of like dynamic stances, in action fighting,
right? Because ARC Troopers, they're doing the down and dirty work, right? They're who gets sent in when they really need.
Yeah, they're the like special forces, basically.
Exactly.
Of the clone troop. Well, leaving out clone commandos. I mean, of the regular.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. Just a loose example.
Jesse is really hard to put because he's got more crap. Kind of could be restricting him than even Rex has. I'm a little bit concerned his upper body being able to pose him, and if he's restricted a lot, is that going to make? I mean, I know you still probably want to get 5 something, but is it less than a little bit because, like how I picture the ARC troopers is crazy dynamic dual blasters, crazy poses with
Guns
supposed
blazing.
to be having stuff at him. Yeah, so. I mean, well, obviously from the Micro series, there was a lot of those guys flipping around and blasting stuff and all kinds of crazy.
That's why everybody
poses.
loves Fordo, man. He just goes crazy. Just give him a couple blasters and he'll take out a whole army of droids.
I'd be bad to pose Firak. There's too much flabbiness and stiff joints.
There you go. What's up, P-Rock? Good to see you, man. Strick says patience is the #1 key in this hobby. Got to learn, sit back and wait. That's very true. Patience is a virtue. I mean, look at Bespin Luke, man. Almost a year after the original Empire Strikes Back releases came out, we got Bespin Luke. So you never know what's going to happen. I love this Dirty Harold. I've never heard someone call him Harold before. I love that. Where's that comment I just had? Oh, so David, I'm guessing you watched Ryan and I's video on Count Dooku. He says, Count Dooku's in transit, man. After your discussion, after further review, I don't think we'll get a 2.0 anytime soon. Yeah, man, that's where I stand with that one. But I hope you got him for a good price. I really hope you did. I know there's some good deals out there for him right now because everybody's kind of selling off stuff. So I hope you got him for a good deal. And thank you so much for watching that video. He said you have stiff joints, Lane. Eddie said you got stiff joints.
Yeah. I would not make a good.
Why does Lane?
Right
why does
now.
everybody want you to sing? This is the second comment about you singing this stream. I saw somebody say that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I sang the other day or something like that. And,
oh, they enjoyed your singing. Maybe you have a singing career.
No, probably because I sound so bad. It makes everybody else feel better about when they sing in the shower in the morning, getting ready for work.
Maybe. All right, guys, we're gonna move on from General Kenobi again. Thank you so much for all the
Hey,
great.
can I make a comment about General Kenobi?
Yes, go for it.
So I'm actually really excited for it. For one, looking at everything that it has, I am kind of curious if it's ratcheted and the joints for the shoulders along with the hips. But it does show that it is posable. I like how the armor separates in the chest area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As well, just like Anakin's does.
That was my one concern, kind of with the the arms and the upper body armor a little bit. There could possibly restrict his move, because most of with the Jedi robe figures you can go crazy most of the time with the posing. That was kind of my only possible slight concern, but seeing that like all this and everything took care of that pretty much. Man, he's just. Oh, you didn't comment on the price point too. $279. They're really.
Oh yeah, we started to touch on that, but yeah. Thank you, Lane.
Yeah, I will just say so we can move on because I know you had to put this guy and the DeLorean back to back, so it just.
Yeah, we're so excited about it. It sucks up all of our time. Right?
Yeah, but this guy, do you guys think maybe the price point right now, maybe because of I don't look at them as necessarily yet direct competition, obviously because of not so much stuff in a couple of years to go yet, but maybe they might be trying to, maybe just with the world economy, they may be trying to keep the price points for non-deluxe figures maybe between like $270, $290 right now.
Yeah, it seems like lately the prices have been a lot better, especially for this Attack of the Clones Wave 2 line, right? I mean, they're all within the $270 range. Padme, Anakin, so definitely. I think they're trying to be more fair with pricing, and it's good to see because these figures are getting really expensive, obviously, and it's costing us a lot of money, but yeah, it's good to see.
Real fast before we move on.
Also be, sorry to cut you off.
No, you go.
That it's an older.
No, you go.
From an older film, older
go.
IP, it's based on those likenesses.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, like Cobb Vanth, why he was $300.
Yeah,
because we all
or
kind
the
of
Obi-Wan line was more expensive than the Attack of the Clones line.
But even its figures were relatively cheap, not too much. The Inquisitors, we are all like, why are these $260? We were saying,
I think Cobb Vanth was mostly all character license.
Maybe.
I think that's it too, and I think with the $279, I think they're realizing too is that Hot Toys started to price people out, and that was a big.
Yeah, and they probably.
And I know they don't contact us and they don't communicate with us a lot, even though we've seen little hints that they're trying to. However, just because they're not communicating with us, they're paying attention to what's going on. in the community and everything, and they're watching what everyone's doing and how people are quitting and just selling their stuff off for less than what it's really worth just to get rid of it. They're noticing that, and they're not
selling stuff at a loss, man.
Yeah. And Hot Toys is realizing, okay, maybe we price people out. I mean, they don't have a board. It's just Howard Chan who owns it. So, you know, there's no stock involved or anything. And Howard's making enough money where he probably realizes, okay, I can still go through this.
And when he's going to go sell Hot Toys to Saudi Arabia, he'll just be able to do it just like Vinnie Mac and power sell it without having to talk to anybody.
But with the Obi-Wan Kenobi, I like how the elbow armor is not separated. It's like the Phase 1 armor was in Clone Wars.
Right.
Where it's actually connected to the gauntlet and the forearm armor itself, and it's not a separate piece. But I don't remember if the knees are separate or if it's connected to the lower leg armor too, like in Clone Wars for Kenobi. But no matter what, I'm still happy about this.
I think it'll be pretty posable. And obviously, we have a cloth undersuit, so I think it's going to be a great release. I'm excited to see how it turns out for sure.
Yeah. And it fits both lines. It fits Clone Wars and the Clone Wars. I think it fits both.
Right. Like I said, I understand what people are saying with like the different gear, but we got to move on because we got quite a few more things to cover, and we're already running over 2 hours. So, guys, I promise you, when you see this, you're gonna be like, "Oh no, we're not talking about this." We got to look at it very briefly because it did just release. You guys know what I'm talking about. Neon Tech Iron Man with Gantry.
Get it off. Get it off.
Look, guys, I thought you were going
to talk about Inart. Sorry.
I promise you, after this, we're going to talk about the Inart Aragorn because I know some of you in the chat want to talk about that. But real quick. I just want to go through the photos real quick. I'm sure there's no one on the panel that's going to end up picking this up, right? We're all kind of in the same boat where it's like, I don't need this figure. I don't collect the Neon Tech.
It depends on the price.
$640.
Yeah, it's very expensive. It's a very expensive
I think
piece.
this looks good, but it's overpriced.
Yeah, I think it's neat. It's neat for sure, but it's not something I would personally collect.
Right.
I think it is.
I'm
cool
sure.
to look at.
I mean, there's people that are really in, like Joel Schumacher, who are like addicted to neon. I'm sure he's ordering this right now.
Maybe he's already got his pre-order dropped on this.
Honestly, because this thing still with the gantry is going to take up a good
it's giant, man. It's
not just that, but if you have every Iron Man release too.
Yeah. If I was going to spec $600 on an Iron Man and similar price range for this, I would just rather get the quarter scale Mark IV by itself. Because it's $595. I mean, you have to track it down a little bit, but it's $595, so it's in the same price range, and you can just get that big Iron Man for the same price that looks cooler.
Right.
Hey, speaking of Iron Man, Amazon, I noticed today Amazon has the comic concept Iron Man for $269. That die-cast version that has the clear plastic on it.
That's a good price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $269 for die-cast. It is, for me, it's $6.65 for delivery.
That's like nothing though.
Yeah,
this is really cool. I didn't want to spend too much time on it because I know most people don't really care about it, but I do think this is a cool figure. It's just I have zero interest in the Neon Tech line, and if I'm going to do a Mark IV with gantry, it's going to be the Mark IV with gantry, not the Neon Tech version, you know. So, Joel Schumacher can't order this. He passed away. There you go, Sean.
Way to go, Sean.
I actually didn't know that.
Too soon, Sean.
So it's too soon. When did he die?
All right, here we go. We're going to move on to the Inart Aragorn, guys. I know a lot of people, especially if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, a lot of people are very curious about this release because I got to be honest with you, between the original prototype that we saw at the Vegas event, well, I guess slightly after the Vegas event because he didn't make it to the event, right? I think they definitely improved the head sculpt quite a bit. Me personally, I have zero stake in Lord of the Rings whatsoever. So this is just basically me looking at the prototype and telling you what I think in comparison to Viggo Mortensen, the actor. I think it's a very, very strong likeness to the character. I think the materials look really nice, and I've heard that they're using real leather on some of the materials, and also they've been using like we were watching that Inart stream the other day on Riley's channel. And John was talking about they use like some vinyl materials and such. So I'm I would definitely love to see them continue to use like real solid materials on their figures, because when they're charging a premium price, you expect like a premium upgrade, right? So not only if you're paying for the rooted hair, you expect a good rooted hair job, but also you expect that the materials are upgraded, like a leather for the coat, leather for the under portion, just an overall upgrade over what you would typically spend for, or what you typically get for like a $300 figure, right? I think this is the sculpted hair one here. This isn't really the best photo, but I do think out of all of the sculpted hair that they've done thus far, I think this is probably my favorite sculpted hair they've done, just because it's more separated. It has more life to it. Some of the sculpted hair they've done, just it looks too clumpy. And I think personally, this is probably their best job that they've done so far. I'd like to see more photos of it, but just seeing it here, I think they did a good job from what I'm seeing here. Obviously for this one, especially with the Inart stuff, everybody's going for the rooted hair. So that's going to be what everybody goes for the most part. But I do think this figure looks pretty fantastic. And I hope this is what they continue to do in terms of nailing these likenesses with these figures. Of course, this is a prototype, so anything could change just like any figure. But I think they did a great job here. I think he is $500, right?
He's in the $400 to $500 range.
Yeah, I think he's right in the same range as the Gandalf. I think he was $480, right, plus taxes and shipping. So not a inexpensive figure whatsoever. But again, if you're going for hyper realism with a rooted hair and everything, this may be your best option. I do think out of all of the Aragorn figures that I've personally seen, this is absolutely the best likeness that we've seen thus far. It's pretty much spot on from what I could see here. Yeah, Peyton, I remember they did mention that on the stream. They were talking about doing a John Wick. Me, personally, I have the Hot Toys John Wick. I love that figure. And also, obviously, Hot Toys announced they're going to be doing John Wick 4 as well. So I'll be interested to see what Hot Toys puts out as well, because I think they're going to be ahead of the game on that one in terms of the John Wick 4 releases. Let's see. Sculpted is like $350. Rooted is $480. Okay. Yomo said this is one of the best proto head sculpts I've seen. Yeah, this is definitely one of the better head sculpts for a prototype I've seen as well. I think they did a great job. Again, I have no skin in the game, so I can't really get too excited about this figure. But I do think I wanted to highlight just how good this prototype looks.
Literally looks like promo shoots. Holy cow, I can't speak. Promo shots of the actual actor.
Yeah, under certain lighting, it looks like a real person, especially obviously with the rooted hair, because that's what everybody's really interested in.
You don't show the face.
Yeah. Ryan, I felt like you were about to say something.
No, I do agree that it's definitely one of the better. I always get worried, and I'm not just saying this because of this, but I know there's people out there that will say X is the greatest 1/6 figure that we have seen, or this sculpt is a 10 out of 10. I never like to give anything a 10 out of 10 because I think there's no such thing as perfection. Yeah. I mean, there was different shots of this. I think we talked about it, like him holding the sword up and stuff that looks so realistic. I mean, I'd give this thing like high 9s. Like I almost never give anything like a 10 out of 10 just because that means that there's never any level of,
right. No room for improvement.
Yeah. There's always room to be better. But it is truly like, it's pretty impressive, I will say. And I have no skin in the game like you do. I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yo.
Just why?
Lade, how much is it a month?
All right. Let's get back on topic here. Yeah. So Commander Crook, I don't think anything's ever going to be perfect, because obviously perfect would be this is 100% the actor incarnate. I don't think it's ever going to be perfect. Not from Hot Toys, JND, when we get to see stuff from them this year. Nothing's going to be ever perfect. But yeah, I agree, Ryan. I think this is this is at least a 9. At least a 9. And I have a hard time rating this one in particular because, again, I've never seen the films. I've only seen like bits and pieces of them here and there. So I don't.
But this is definitely easily. I'm not throwing any hate towards it. It's just I get worried when we throw around like 10 out of 10, or it's like I'd like a 9.5, 9.7. I'd give it like just so because the problem is. All right, here's a good question. Everyone was so on the Joker, right? The Joker was the best sculpt. is this now the better sculpt? Like, I personally think this is better than Joker because this is a real face. There's no paint. There's nothing. It could be different. Like, the Joker's a real person. But when people were so about the Joker being like, that's the best sculpt I've ever seen, now you have this. And it's like, I personally think this is the best thing that they've done yet. I think this is better than the Joker, personally, in terms of what it looks like, because it's a real person. It's got beard, it's got facial hair. It's got elements that you could screw up, but they nailed it. That's my opinion.
That's what I was gonna say. I think that stubble is like next level. It looks pretty incredible.
It looks really next level. It does.
And
the sculpted, I'm not a fan of. Just like the Joker, I think the sculpted hair is not good on the Joker, and same thing on this one. It's like, You see that root? I mean, it's almost like I jokingly think to myself, they make the sculpted look like okay to just obviously upgrade you to the rooted already. Like, it makes sense just to get the rooted. It just does. It just
this one here is the sculpted one, right?
Yeah, that is, yes.
See, and I like this. I think this is perfect as is. It's a 10 out of 10 for me now, but
I do think the sculpted, again, my personal opinion is I think Inart needs to work on their sculpted hair across the board. And that's why you see a lot of people not talking much about the sculpted hair, right? Me personally, I'm invested in their sculpted hair product, so I would love to see improvement. I haven't seen the Joker in hand yet, of course, but just based on photos, I do agree. I think this is their best sculpted hair, and I do think this is probably their best head sculpt so far, because I do agree also with the Joker, it kind of helps that his face is covered in makeup, right? Because you can kind of hide some inaccuracies here and there in that makeup. With this, you're just looking at complete flesh tone. And I think when you're looking at this at face value, it's incredible. It's such a good head sculpt, and I think they did a great job with it. And hopefully it doesn't deteriorate much between this and the final product, and I think a lot of people will be super happy.
I think that's the other thing that people have to realize, is that you have to hit the prototype so hard, because if you expect, and to give credit, I think Will said this on his stream like a week or two ago, is that if here's the prototype and then you go into mass production, you kind of expect, or you don't want it to be, but you might lose a couple percentage points when it goes into mass production. So if something was a 9.5, it might end up being like a 9 once it's produced. You know what I mean? Or like something's an 8, it might drop a little bit just because now you're going into mass production. This thing is so good. For those who get it, like I said, I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, so there's no skin in it for me. I'm just giving my honest opinion. I hope you guys get what you see here. I really do, because it is truly.
Commander Crook says is one of the best looking 6-scale figures in history. I reserve statements like that for when I see the final
statements.
product.
Those are loaded statements that I refer to. I let's wait and see it in hand, but
I would say one of the best prototypes for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I would use that
absolutely 100%.
This probably, even if it has even a slight drop off for the,
it's still going to be fantastic.
Sculpt, it's still going to be it is still going to be one of, probably for facial sculpt, one of the best, if not the best, Lord of the Rings figure.
Oh, I mean, that's no question. Yeah,
that's a fair statement. But to say it's, for people going to say something's the best 1/6 ever made, you got to give that one some time.
I think you got to be careful. You got to, when you're talking about these figures, I think even Hot Toys figures, when you're comparing them, I think you need to keep them within the license to a certain respect. No. Because we got lots of different things.
Well, that's always something that people have said about Yondu. If people remember, it almost seems like Yondu's forgotten about, because I know Yondu has always been kind of the standard that people compare sculpts to when it came to Hot Toys, before Inart was even a thing. And now it seems like the Joker Inart is the one that people are now comparing sculpts to. But if you remember, people even said about Yondu, well, it's blue, like Gamora, like, oh, they do aliens really well, but what about an actual human likeness with natural flesh tones?
I think Yondu is still one of the, if not,
it's still one of the best sculpts that
I'm gonna say Marvel, one of the best Marvel 6-scale figures. I'm not willing to cross it over.
Grand Moff Tarkin, the Peter Cushing likeness, is basically,
that is still one of the best Star Wars ones.
The Ben Affleck,
Alec Guinness
from Batman.
Alec Guinness, yeah.
Ben Affleck's is incredible. Henry Cavill is really good.
Hey, we all know that when Hot Toys hits the old white guy button on their sculpting computer with their, in the back of the heads of their sculptors, they always nail it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. D's Nuts says, why would license matter? The license matter. It's about likeness. This is Shrink Ray. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I guess someone said Marvel. I think Lane was just specifically saying, like, talking about the good
keeping
head
within the
sculpt.
realm of the IP versus saying overall.
Overall for everything, because I think you have to compare it, because even though we may have people's faces, the look, style, the dirt, the different fantasy is different than sci-fi. So some of the things you're going to see with the outfits, things like that, can carry over differently. Superhero costumes are different than what Aragorn's wearing in his Strider here. I think that all works into the figure itself.
Right.
I agree with that.
All right. So y'all ask me, everybody always asks me, why do you not like rooted hair? And you're like, oh, we had somebody on the last one, I forgot who it was. He said, rooted hair doesn't have any maintenance involved. And this video proves that's absolutely not true. That's probably part of the reason why these figures are so expensive. Look at the process involved with getting the hair right. So when they go to put it in the box, it's ready for you as a collector when you take it out of the box. He's talking about brushing hairspray into the hair to style the hair. There's people in the comments asking what hairspray to use. So when you say to me that rooted hair doesn't have any maintenance, I don't know what you're talking about. It absolutely does. Now, does this look absolutely amazing? Does the rooted hair on the Joker look better than the sculpted? Absolutely it does. But me personally, I'm not willing to do this. You know what I mean? It's just from my personal taste.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, from owning two J&D statues that have rooted hair, that there's absolutely, they can be a pain for futzing. Or some people who collect some of the life size like busts, like the Gal Gadot one and some other ones have come out where they have actually had like their wife, some collectors, or like had a stylist come and have to fix and do up the hair to make it look right.
It's a process.
I believe that. I mean, look at the 1/6 Scarlet Witch, trying to keep her hair down.
Yeah. And now, granted, what's up, OG? I hope you're doing well. Granted, they are using better quality hair, most likely, on these figures versus what Hot Toys use. But also, it's a huge price difference, right?
Yeah.
And also, the other thing is, like, this hair is also still glued. It's not hand punched. So it's going to have the same challenges as any rooted hair that Hot Toys has done. It's still going to have to be maintained. Yes, again, it's nicer quality hair. You could definitely tell that from the photos. But
the nice thing Inart provides for you for this figure, and what I guess except the Gandalf, is they give you the option if you want, for Inart for the Joker, if Connor and I and some of the other guys, we've been buying the Dark Knight line. Yeah, I'm getting that Joker primarily because there's no Hot Toys one, and I want a Joker to mix in with all the rest of my figures. But I was cool with just getting the sculpted hair. You know what? This Aragorn, you have a choice. If you have a budget, there is a version you could get, which the actual facial sculpt is going to be about on point, if not, is going to be the same. So you can still get a lot of, almost what this is for a little bit cheaper price. So I think it's really cool that they are giving you multiple options. Even for,
I agree.
I think that was when we talk about one of the hits for this figure, is they decided not just do like almost $500 rooted hair. They have a sculpted hair that looks good.
Hey, you still got to take care of sculpted hair. You got to dust it.
Yeah.
I don't dust my sculpted hair. I truly, my figures don't really get dusty at all. I guess because I keep this room shut 24/7, I don't dust my figures really.
I would say the same thing. I don't do a lot of that either.
But it depends on what your setup is, right? Because I don't have people constantly walking in and out of my room. I keep the door shut. I don't allow my animals anywhere near my collection room. So for me, I've never really had to dust, apart from just the glass base in my Detolf here and there.
Yeah.
I never really had to dust. So
what Detolf?
My former Detolfs. Former Detolfs.
We forgot, we forgot to mention you were the Detolf Collecting Madness.
Why? What are these people doing, man? We got the Lane OnlyFans page now. This is from one of the streams with Nate. So this has to be one of my friends because one of them posted this picture in one of the group chats I'm in. So it's one of them. I'm gonna find out who it was.
I
wish I could bring that picture up.
That facial reaction you guys might have seen on some of the groups. The Infinity Studio, does the life size bus had those post ups where they had 4 of their upcoming bus. People were going to have some canceled by the manufacturer because of issues and stuff. That a whole bunch, they were saying that 4 or 5 of their life-size busts were going to have pre-orders canceled because they weren't going to be able to make enough for them. that is the facial response that people have after reading that. Reading that.
It told me it looked like I was smelling my own mustache. I'm like, all right, that's fair. Ekwan says I had to get the rooted Aragorn to be consistent with Gandalf. Can't mix and match rooted. And I understand that. See, me, I'm just like, I'm going to try to get mostly sculpted stuff, and then all of my figures will be happy together. But, of course, I have some rooted stuff, like the Justice League Wonder Woman. I have the Volume 2 Gamora. So I have some rooted stuff in my collection, but definitely prefer sculpted. Which is why I got the sculpted Joker 2-pack, and I got that sculpted Bruce Wayne from Inart. So I'm definitely really excited to see those in person and kind of draw my final opinion from that when I get it in hand, hopefully soon. Yeah. Eddie, laugh it up, Eddie. Laugh it up. I thought we were friends, Eddie, and here you are laughing at me, man.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. I guess I had it coming for laughing at your Inart page, or excuse me, as we're looking at Inart figure, at your OnlyFans account, right, Lane?
No one's safe.
Head sculpts with rooted hair will begin shipping after maintenance. Required only minor adjustments to achieve the ideal display effect. The head sculpt display box will be probably packaged in transportation.
That sounds like it's padded. Corporate speak.
Yeah, it's a little. Obviously, it was a little all over the place there with what they were saying, but I get the general gist. We're gonna move on from the Inart Aragorn again, guys. I don't have a lot of stake in the game, but you can see we're all very impressed by the product from what we see with the prototype. It's very nice looking. And I think if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you're probably really excited because you're finally getting some justice done for Lord of the Rings characters. Who knows how deep they'll go into the line, because Inart has basically said that they don't want to go too deep into these lines. So that's the only thing. You may have to go to Asmus still for some stuff, but it seems like the Gandalf the White that we saw recently actually didn't look too bad. A lot of people who got it in hand said they were pretty impressed by it. So,
Did I see they're offering the sculpt for that as well?
So yeah, Chris, thank you for ruining my news as I was pulling. I'm just joking. I'm actually pulling that up right now. So
I got it from the Hot Toys Hotline fan page.
Yeah. So sorry, guys. You know, I was gonna let you guys know what the news was, but Chris just no. But no, all jokes aside, there was, I guess, an older Gandalf the White version from Asmus in like 2013. So because of that, they're like, we're gonna offer, and this is what I want to see. And this is kind of what we talked about earlier from Hot Toys, right? Like, wouldn't that be cool if they gave us USB lightsabers to put with our old figures? Never going to happen probably from Hot Toys, but this is what I like to see. Give us the option to upgrade, you know? A lot of people wanted that Gandalf hat to upgrade from the crappy one that apparently came with the original Asmus Gandalf. They never got it because I think currently they're packaging it with one of the other characters. I don't remember which character it was. If you know, feel free to shout it out. But this is really cool to see. Obviously, the body won't be up to par to the current one, but it's nice that they're upgrading the sculpt, or giving you the option to upgrade the sculpt. Excuse me. I think that's really cool. So
I'm not up to speed on this. So what is this? They're offering like a new. You just buy the head to use.
Exactly.
On
So this is the head sculpt from the new Gandalf the White. I guess they released one in 2013. So they're like, if you have the original,
like 2.0. I got you.
Right. If you have the original, you can upgrade to this new one with this. With this new sculpt. So I think that's pretty cool. Right. I like to see stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's like it's a updated, a Hot Toy sculpt that you got back in 2013 and just gave you the head sculpt, and it was compatible with your old figure.
See, right, honestly, I hate to say it, but the moneymaker, like Tony Stark, Iron Man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Those suits you could have kept and just popped up new sculpts on those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Even the first Avengers line, all from 2012 or whatever. Like they could have just updated sculpts and stuff. I mean, it was cool they did the tailoring and whatnot. So. But
I agree. That would be really cool. So, guys, just a quick update. I know Lane and I kind of wanted to bring this up, but as you can see, guys, we're going through the list already. They're moving fast. So there's not many left. We have Iron Man Mark 1, the XE suit Batman, Jesse, which is one that Lane and I are talking about because we really want that Jesse to come out.
We're hoping he poses really good.
Carnage.
Yeah. Carnage is not in this photo, unfortunately.
Yeah. I know.
But the thing is, guys, is like, I don't think that just because the characters aren't in this photo, that doesn't mean that they're like exempt from being released anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned Scarlet Witch the other day on Nate's stream. I think that one's probably right around the corner.
Well, no, they said that one's got a release window of March to July right now.
Right, and I think it could come out sooner, though. I really do, but we'll see.
There's still a good number, though, because we've got, like you said, Mark 1, the XE suit, the regular shiny clone, which that one's amazing. That one's coming so soon.
We don't have a shiny clone. There's no shiny. It's not shiny.
The shinies.
It's just a clone trooper. It's not shiny.
So everybody's calling it. I get what you're saying. It doesn't. Oh, there we go. Andreas, sorry to cut you guys off. The hat came with Old Man Bilbo. Thank you. I appreciate that, Andreas. Good to see you, by the way.
Did you just say Old Man what?
I know what.
Okay.
No, did you say it correctly or not? You don't have to say it. Just
I
did. You say it
no, I'm not
correctly or
going to say it. I know what you're thinking I said,
Okay.
but guys, on the
Oh,
replay,
no.
I said it. Trust me.
Okay, no, I'm going to believe you. I just seriously thought you said the
That's
other
what
word.
you wanted to hear him say.
Yeah, that is exactly.
Yes, that's
Thank you.
exactly what I want to hear Connor talk about.
That's what he wanted to hear. Eddie
He wants-
Rodriguez.
I want to
says,
hear him talk about Bilbos.
I mean,
Give me Carnage
how
already.
bad You got.
So, anyway, we have Captain America.
Finally,
this is going to be a friggin' serious release, man. I'm really, really excited for this one. I knew Matt was going to be excited to talk about the XE suit. That's a beast of a figure, man. It really is.
That's a chunky boy. I mean, we talk about the King Shark being big, you know.
Right, look at the
power
XE
pose
suit
there.
next to him.
Like
he's
not
pretty
as
sizable.
thick, obviously, yeah. But that Wonder Woman finally kept. So it finally can not be the Loki 2.0
Exactly.
for delays.
Exactly.
And then that Captain America, like these are some of the final, like this is like kind of the final push to get some of those really, really delayed figures. You know, finally
Get him out the
at
door,
least
baby.
out.
Yeah.
But that Captain America, I'm really interested to see how that one's going to look, how they're handling the wings, and like, because you know,
Me
like
too.
the one where
Because they're
just
fully
straight
articulated, right? They're fully articulated.
I don't know. I think so.
It appears to be from the photos because he's got them like wrapped in all.
Yeah,
different
there's supposed to be
directions.
more than the at least more than the golden armor Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not easily breakable. That might be the one thing you have to concern.
I agree.
But we got the Shang-Chi figures.
Yeah,
like
Wenwu,
the
baby.
Wenwu, dude. That figure, I'm really excited to see.
Me too.
Simu Liu is, you know, he's better than Wood, I guess, basically. Like
I like Shang-Chi, man. I like.
No, I like the movie, but
I know you just don't like the actor, right? Yeah.
Well, no, it's just I thought he was the least interesting character in his own movie. You know who I would have liked playing the Shang-Chi instead? Playing from Ed, Edd and Eddy, because they had about as much personality as each other.
The disrespect.
Okay, I'm not being serious, guys. It is a joke, and I'm being facetious. If anybody goes, are you comparing him to Plank of Wood? An animated Plank of Wood at that too. But I'm interested to see how both those figures finally come out, because they may actually come out relatively on time for when they were originally.
And they're
spoken
pretty
of.
simple figures. They do have those really nice effects, but
Yeah. And then the big one for me is the Silver Centurion armor up.
yeah, that one's beautiful, and it's very pricey, like you were saying. But that's a beautiful figure, man. Definitely one I won't be getting, but I could appreciate how nice that is.
I think that one, the one issue I think, and I'm getting the figure. I already have it paid off.
Right.
Is going to be for this guy is if you don't have him set in a spot where you can easily USB plug him in. I think that figure may lose a lot if it's not light up, you know, because a lot of that, I think, for that figure is because the underneath, the joint parts you see and stuff are able to light up and everything. So he might, you know, in comparison, even like say the Mark 1, the Mark 1's going to look pretty cool just with the armor and the outfit versus where that one might be, is it going to be that interesting without lighting effect on? That might be the other thing.
The Mark 1, definitely. So, Ekwan, I wanted to read his comment. He said, Batman XE is my number one on this photo, with Mark 1 being a close second. I would say Mark 1 is definitely my number one. Next to Jesse. Jesse and Mark 1 are like neck and neck, but Mark 1, dude, is such an important Iron Man suit. It's what started it all. It's what got me into Marvel as a whole. That first Iron Man movie was so incredible, and it just got me sucked into Marvel. So, because I was never like huge into the comics as a kid. So, what really got me sucked into Marvel was that first Iron Man movie. So
out of everything that's left, who has what ordered?
so let's see. Me personally, I'll tell you what I have ordered and what I will be getting, even though I don't have it ordered. So I have Mark 1, Jesse, and the standard clone trooper ordered. I will be getting the Sam Wilson cap. I will be getting Wenwu and Shang-Chi. And the only other one that I'm considering is the Wonder Woman 84. I may end up just getting the sculpt and call it a day and put that on my Justice League one, but I'm still considering the Wonder Woman 84 because I think she looks great.
You want to see the final and like see some unboxings and see some reviews of that one just before you make up your mind?
Partially, yeah, for sure.
And money stuff.
Right. That's the other
into it,
thing
too.
is like I'd like to see her go on a discount because I do have the Justice League one and I never intended on getting the Justice League one, but then I was like, I kind of want all the mother boxes. So then I ended up finding the Justice League one super cheap. So because of that, I'm like, yeah. But yeah, that's my list personally. You guys can move on because that's my list. Oh, and the DeLorean, but that one's already crossed out. But yeah, I'm getting that one.
I mean, I guess we'll go down the line. I mean, obviously, I have the DeLorean paid off, waiting for that. I have Wonder Woman paid off, waiting for that to release.
I am getting King Shark. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah. So I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to bring it into the X's, but yeah, sorry.
So you
Go
have
ahead.
basically everything, is what you're saying.
A lot of the stuff that's X'd out, I'm getting, but not all of it.
Yeah, for me, it's the DeLorean,
We're
the
talking about
Wonder
what's
Woman
on-
84. The DeLorean, the Wonder Woman 84 for me are paid off, waiting for them. The Iron Man Mark 1, I did have it on pre-order. Unfortunately, I had to cancel it just because of some budgetary restraints. So I'm gonna wait, excuse me, until the Mark 1 goes in stock and then use coupons and get it down the road. But I will get that. And then the Silver Centurion, same thing. I think that's going to sit, honestly, for reasons that Lane were talking about.
It's
I think that's
very
going to sit, so I'm not
expensive.
worried about getting that right now, but I will be getting that. And then the only other one is actually the Spider-Man. I wanted the Sam Wilson cap, but I'm not sold on it, honestly.
And there's going to be Captain America: New World Order. So
Exactly.
If
So
you're
it's
on
kinda-
some
that's-
financial restriction, you can.
Yeah,
wait
I'm
for
not
that
sold
one.
on it, so I'm not in love with it. I mean, so I already.
Yeah.
So for me, of non-edged out ones, I've got the Silver Centurion on pre-order. I'm super hyped for that one.
Yeah.
And then of other ones on here, I'm like 95% certain I'm going to get Wenwu and I'm going to get Jesse. And then I'm up in the air. It kind of depends what we're talking about financially, what I could, because I know I have some statues upcoming in the next few months too. But I'm looking at either Captain America Falcon or Wonder Woman 84. I'm more likely between the two probably to get Wonder Woman 84 just because of the price. And I think I'd be able to get her on sale eventually too. Because she, some of these are going to sit for a while because these are older figure. A lot of these are older. Some of these pre-orders and stuff, so they might be in stock for a little while.
Yeah. Nice. Sean, what are you getting from this list?
So Mark 1, Silver Centurion. I have Jesse ordered. I have the Attack of the Clone Trooper ordered. The XC Batman.
Ooh.
I am considering Wonder Woman. And then also for Captain America, I'm not sure if Anthony Matt is actually still playing Captain America.
He is.
He is.
Okay, he is. All right, because if he wasn't, I'm definitely going to get it.
No, yeah, he is.
But I don't know yet. I haven't decided on it. I do like the design. I like how the articulation in the wings, especially how he can do like a shield version, shielding his entire body with it. That's kind of what I really wanted to see with the Civil War version, how he had the armor set up with his wings to protect him.
Yeah, which I think you could do that with this one. If I remember correctly, they're fully posable.
Well, the only thing I wondered was if it's possible some of the pieces might actually be where you pull them off and attach them maybe in set.
There's a photo of him I remember in the promo pics because I remember there was a scene when he was in the suit and he was like on the bridge where the wings closed over him and protected him.
Right, he's like blocking himself from the guns.
They replicated that with this figure, so there's definitely some possibility with the wings.
Well, no, I just meant could it have switch out pieces kind of like the way they showed with the extended wings were for Gold Armor Wonder Woman or the more folded up ones.
I think the only thing they have with him is them like this. And then he has like the pack where it's you take them off completely. I don't think there was a kind of in between.
Right. Cool. Chris, what are you getting from this list?
The Attack of the Clones Trooper. That's on order. And then what I'm getting is the Wonder Woman, which we've gone back and forth on that one.
Yeah.
So I might as well get Hot Toys at this point.
Yeah.
The Mando and Grogu set. And then the DeLorean.
Yeah.
And I'm debating on Spider-Man.
Yeah, that Spider-Man suit, dude. The fact that we looked at photos of that last week, but those improvements really, really nice on the integrated suit. And I already love the integrated suit personally. I know a lot of people are iffy, especially with the gold. I understand, but me personally, dude, I love the integrated suit. That's cool that you're considering it though, because I know you're real big into No Way Home like I am. So nice. But yeah, guys, that's what we got right now for the current release schedule for Hot Toys. This stuff should be coming sooner than later, especially like that standard clone trooper. That one should be coming out any day now, I'm sure, because it's just so simple. I wouldn't be surprised if they started invoicing for those in February. I really wouldn't. Real quick, of course, guys, I always like to do a wait list watch. So we're going to really quickly take a look at the last chance section on Sideshow. A bunch of waitlist did convert last week. So we saw R2. We saw basically all of the Attack of the Clone stuff. You did get some conversions for the waitlist. So congratulations for able to get those. I know Ryan finally got his R2.
Was it 4 weeks in a row? 5 weeks in a row? 4 weeks?
I don't want to hear it, Ryan, because I'm still waiting for Apo to convert. That's been gone for like 2.5 months. So, but hey, yeah, 4 weeks. Ryan held strong almost, and he got his wish. He got his conversion. So that's awesome. I'm so glad you're able to get that. But yeah, me guys, I'm holding out for that Apo. Still hasn't converted for me yet. So, but yeah, nothing really special about the wait list. The last chance page right now going to wait list. The Batman and Bat Signal did come back as we showed last week, and he is still there. I don't know if he has the almost gone status yet. Nope, still low stock. So you still have a little bit of time to grab him again before he probably goes wait list again. But yeah, not much has changed there. The final topic we're going to cover before we do our unboxings at the end of the stream. It's something I wanted to take a look at with y'all because I thought it was really cool for a third-party figure. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions about third-party, but I think they've been doing a lot of cool stuff. So we did get 2 announcements from Flashpoint for Deathstroke. So we got the Nightmare version and we got the normal armored version. And I think it looks really cool. Me personally, I'm kind of leaning towards the Nightmare version.
Wow, I'm seeing this for the first time. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is really dope. I love that little Nightmare scene in the Snyder cut. I think it's
pretty good.
Yeah, I love that sculpt with the mohawk, and it actually looks like it's rooted hair, which is pretty cool. I mean, you guys know how I feel about rooted hair, but I guess with a mohawk,
favorite, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
it is my favorite.
You wouldn't have to do
right,
that.
I guess with a mohawk, it doesn't really require much because it's just a mohawk, but this is really cool, guys. I'm really, really hyped. I think the proportions look awesome. Of course, this is just a prototype. I want to see the final product for it, but I think it looks really cool. And I think I'm digging that Nightmare look, man. And I have the Nightmare Batman. I have the Nightmare Superman. Excuse me, not the Nightmare Superman.
I'm trying to avoid going down that line because I really want, because then you get the Flash, and I really want to put together. I really want a Nightmare set put together.
I just want one of each character, you know. Like,
well, that's what I mean. I want to put like a Nightmare League together, and I'm trying to avoid going down that route.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a figure I've been kind of waiting for. I'm not gonna lie to you. So to see it
this looks
come
so
to fruition,
good, though.
Yeah, this is badass, man. And
Even
this
if you had
is
him,
nice
Batman,
too.
I have who made the third party? A lot of people made the third party Joker, but I have one of them behind me.
Yeah, I do agree with Lane. Lane was saying before the stream started that he thought the Hot Toys version of the Arkham series, Deathstroke was the nicer one of the two in this regular look, and I would agree with that. But I still think this is very nice. I really do like this a lot. Eddie says he loves this character. Yeah, Deathstroke is a cool character, man, and I really love this look for him. The Nightmare look is what's speaking to me the most right now, especially because he comes with that head sculpt. I think that's really cool, and I love this like little. I guess this is an MG42 that he's got here. That's really cool, man.
That's an M249 saw.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. You're right. M249. MG42 is from World War II. You're right. M249. But yeah, that's really cool, man. I really do dig that. I love the head sculpt. Again, I'm not. You guys know how I feel about rooted hair, but I think because this is a mohawk, it shouldn't be too bad because it's really short. But of
What's
course,
the price point on this?
I don't know. I don't know if so.
That's such a good shot right
it's
there.
$250.
$250. I don't think that's terrible. I mean, it's a little high for third party because they're unlicensed, but all of the third party prices unfortunately going up.
That setup right there. That is.
It's funny because that's the Hot Toys one. It looks like, and he's just blurred in the background.
But honestly, for $250, and I gotta say, if they deliver on that sculpt, it's hard not to justify it. Honestly, that sculpt is because that sculpt it's good for third party.
Solid, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matt. I would agree for the standard look. I do think the Arkham one is nicer from what I've seen, but I'm more interested in this Nightmare version because he's got the fully kitted out look. I love the handgun on his chest and everything, and I've considered getting this Joker as well, and a lot of people have said really good things about
That's
this
the one I
Joker.
have. It's awesome.
I know some people had some issues with the body here and there, but for the most part, a lot of people had some good things to say about it. So I may end up grabbing both of these, honestly.
What was the problem with the body?
Dude. Some people were saying that there's arrived with like broken joints. I saw a couple people say that. I actually saw one for sale with broken joints, but I mean, obviously, that's just normal QC issues, I'm sure. I don't think it was like a widespread issue, but yeah, I'm excited. Oh, look at that. Just rubbing it in people's faces. Oh, so Andreas says he has a nightmare set up with the Jazz Inc. Batmobile. That's awesome, dude.
That's actually
just nope. You're behind, man. Daniel's been gone for a minute. It's all right, dude. Like I said, I open all opinions. We had a nice long conversation about that. Daniel was airing his frustrations, but at the end he was being respectful, so that's okay. He said Daniel
Yeah, it all
Q needs
got
to chill.
worked out.
Yeah, he's way behind. I guess you're just catching up, huh? Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys. I thought this was really cool. Like out of the third party stuff that's come out recently, this is probably the coolest thing I've seen, and I'm really excited to check this out.
I've never seen this before. This is the first time I'm seeing this figure. I got to keep this eye out on.
Yeah. So I've definitely. Oh, and I actually didn't go through all these photos. He's got some photos in some different lighting where you can kind of see the armor more. Dude, yeah, that sculpt's awesome, man. It looks really cool.
Point.
If the final product looks as good, I'll be stoked, man. This is cool. This is really cool. But I think that's everything we have in terms of news and stuff we wanted to show. I think we're going to move on to the unboxing. I think Lane is now preparing. I know Ryan actually wants to show off a new figure that he just got in his collection. So, Ryan, if you're ready, I can pull up your camera.
Hey, it's right here.
Guys, this is the unboxing hour extravaganza. This is kind of a re-unboxing for Ryan because he's already done an unboxing of it, but he just wanted to show it off because this is a really cool figure. But go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I finally got this one in. I mean, obviously, I know this is. I've been seeing a lot of posts online where this one's being shipped out, the Mech test. So this, this little, if you want to call it 2.0. I know the sculpt is updated on this, but this was actually my first ever Hot Toys pre-order. So from July of 2020, this is the first one I actually bought. Even though the Mark 40, was it the 43 or from Age of Ultron? That's my first Hot Toy. I bought that because it was in stock. This is my first actual pre-order, but yeah, I unboxed it yesterday. I had to. The box it's ridiculously large because of the cardboard backdrop and all that stuff. So I wanted to save the time, open up all that. I actually filmed a review. The full review on this, I have it set to drop tomorrow. I think it's at 1 o'clock. So if you want to check out a quick, like 15-minute review on it, and I have it posed up in the review. I actually put it with some other Iron Man figures to try to make like a little workshop scene. So if you want to check that out, but as you can see, I mean, I think the camera's doing a pretty good job of the sculpt. It's a little,
that sculpt's incredible, man.
The paint is a little blown out because of the lighting on it. It's not as bad as what it looks like on there. It looks more natural. This piece here, not that it's a big deal. This is super loose on the figure, so not that I expected to be like fixed, but this piece here that goes over his chest is super loose. So just be careful with this, especially when you're posing. See how it kind of shit. It just lays over the arc reactor. There's nothing to actually hook it in. So
yeah, that would have been cool if it was magnetic to kind of keep it in place.
But the detail work, on the arms is just what to expect.
Man. I'm still considering this one, but it's just I got to find space for it.
Trying to get it in focus.
It sees your face. You got to put your hand behind it. It'll focus instantly.
I still like the paint.
There you go.
Metallic look.
Oh, trying to get it.
You have to command the camera, tell it what to do. You got to tell it to focus.
Is.
Yeah, the detail's pretty incredible, man. I think it looks great. That little wiring and everything. Just imagine the amount of time it took them to paint those individual wires.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
I do agree though that it's a companion piece. It's kind of hard to. I think I said that in the review. I also have the dummy. Not that it's it's pretty basic. It's all plastic.
If you get that Mark III hat build diorama, that's the perfect piece to put with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a companion piece. It's not something that I think in my review I even said. It's kind of hard to buy this as itself if you have no other Iron Man representation. It's kind of hard to have this just as is. So, I mean, if you have the Mark III construction or maybe a couple other Iron Man figures, especially from the earlier, the first movie, it looked good together. It being by itself, it's it is what it is. There's not much going on with
Gantry.
What's that?
I said go Neon Tech with Gantry, and then you can see where Tony Stark decided to go through his Tron phase.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Ryan, for showing off. That's really cool. Lane, are you ready for your unboxing? Oh, he said, yes, I am. So Lane, you got
Okay,
something
guys.
special today. Tell us what you got for us today.
Yes. So
Awesome.
this is the original Rogue One Stormtrooper. I almost said Stormtrooper.
It is a stormtrooper, to be fair. It is a stormtrooper.
Yeah. So it's a little bit hard. This is the one thing with this figure I don't quite get to understand was the color combination for the cigar band, because the Shore Trooper is kind of a goldish color to it on top of the sandy color. So
Right.
half the time you can barely make out like the actual name and stuff like that.
It's pretty legible on camera.
I think it's cool. I actually like that look, but I guess to each your own, you know. I think that's cool,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, so this is the original one, which was, of course, I mean, we're talking a couple of years ago now.
Shore
It was
Trooper
probably-
Captain.
Yeah, the Shore Trooper Captain, which is one of the grail of troopers. As I've thought about mentioning, I think for troopers, for Star Wars, there has been a change kind of for the value, quote, values and stuff and how you would adjust with them. Like, I think the only quote, grail trooper for how much they cost and how much people want them, I think it's really the Snow Trooper 2-pack from Battlefront. Like, that's the... No, I've never had... I had the Shore Trooper Squad Leader, and I still have the Grunt from The Mandalorian. But I have never had this figure. This guy is still decently expensive. I got him in a very good trade. And I know I referenced that this was going to be something special because I think this guy is still one of the of troopers is still one of the most sought after. No, I had a Death Trooper that I sold, but that's because I was waiting for the Andor one, and I was, that's the one thing with pleather for some of these troopers is when they're 5-6 years old, you can worry if there might be some breakdown. That's why for a Death Trooper, I'm waiting. At this point, if we finally ever get an Andor one, I want to get one of those, which will be newer, just be a newer version of it. Maybe with better stuff, but I wouldn't hold my breath at the same time. So anyway, let me get this open here real quickly. But I thought people might like this since obviously this is a rare trooper. And used to be at one point $500 to $600.
He's still pretty pricey, but yeah, obviously took a little bit of a hit when the original or when the two new ones came out, but still... Definitely a pricey
His
figure.
value was not destroyed by having two other versions of basically a similar figure come out. Yeah. No, I actually gave away my Shore Trooper to a friend of mine, the Squad Leader. But I just got Hunter the other day. But here is the artwork. Obviously, these are always, we commented, are always really cool. Like just we were talking about with the DeLorean earlier, that giant one. Like, you're like, man, I might need, if you're going to get rid of the box for that, then you might want to just take that insert and frame it. And you could use that as like the background. If you were going to set that up, DeLorean, and have something on the wall, you can put that up for it. So here we have the trooper himself. As I joked the other day, there will not be a light box or anything else that will be very detailed and stuff that will be going in here. Still have pretty much all the plastic from it too. I think this is a background if I remember correctly.
Now you don't have to struggle with it.
Yeah, he's got all the plastic off. Oh, I didn't even know he came with a backdrop. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to try. Yeah. Well, here, look at
You don't have to take it out of the plastic. Yeah, just show us. Oh, that's cool. That's kind of cheesy looking, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I like the other side more because it's more like realistic,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I obviously I don't think this guy ever actually took this out.
Yeah, it looks like he did.
Okay, but so here we've got the Shore Trooper. Wow. Okay.
It's a nice pop.
Yep. So here we've got the guy. I did actually look at the figure just a little bit to take a look at, obviously we've got the bag here, which is some pleather, and it can be held a little loose there. Oh, well.
Oh, he's headless. He's lost his head.
Yeah, that's not the best thing there. There we go.
And not a good sign.
The mothers. What's the
Yeah.
other piece down there?
I've had worse responses from figures, so take him out here. And obviously, this guy does not come with a ton of accessories, as often troopers do not. And, does that attach to the back? No, you got that on there.
What is it? Let me see.
That's not supposed to come off. That's part of the belt. That's not supposed to come off at
Yeah,
all.
probably glue. It'll probably just need a little bit of glue.
Mm-hmm. Because he still had the back.
Huh, I wonder where that clips on. Like Sean said, it's got to be somewhere on the belt, but it maybe just needs to be glued back on. But that, that happens. That if you guys have been collecting Hot Toys for a decent amount of time, stuff comes unglued very often.
Okay.
Matt says he never uses the cardboard backdrops. I don't really use them very often either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've got, obviously, their standard blaster here.
It's a beauty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate you got to re-glue some stuff because it's like just a little quick dab, whatever they do, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, and over time the glue gives away, which I don't have a huge issue with. It's understandable.
Always have it in this hobby.
Yeah.
It comes with 4 hands, which I guess is actually on par with the other figures because that's how many they came with. 2 gun hands.
Nice.
I think we got obviously the fists, and that is it. Which is a little disappointing since he's supposed to technically, I guess, be a captain.
No commanding hands, huh?
Yeah, maybe a fist point or something like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I forgot these things have. I always almost forget these Rogue ones have these stupid things on the front.
I love those, man. You don't like those?
No, I'm not.
You got them with every single one of your bases.
Yeah, I think
like
they're
it
really
too,
cool.
Now, this is obviously with one of the Rogue One line, one of the neater things that you can get with the printed on the base and stuff. Yeah. So obviously, we have the Shore Trooper here. I think this one is actually really cool, with just the art style and everything to it. And then we've also obviously got that here. Let me see the light here. I knew it was going to be a pain in the butt.
Just do your best. It's okay. Oh, there it goes. It showed. There we go. Keep it right there.
Yep. It has Imperial Shore Trooper.
Very nice.
Okay. And I'll try and stick that.
Looks like it's got quite a short crotch grabber. Or are my eyes deceiving me? Oh, never mind. My eyes were deceiving me. Well, I was going to say, why would they give him the wicket? Because the wicket comes with that short little crotch grabber.
Yeah, that wicket one's cute, though.
Yeah. Okay. So now to get this out of the way here real quickly, I may need one of the gun hands.
Actually, I don't think his is a crotch grabber. Isn't his a waist clamp?
For the short trooper, it shouldn't be.
No. For a wicket.
Well, yeah, you're right. I was mainly talking about the post.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, like how short it is.
Yeah, his is a waist.
So here we have the captain himself. Obviously, we've had a couple other recent versions of this trooper. So he's got just kind of see if you guys have not seen it before. He's got a similar ammo pouch to the Grunt. Let's see if we can focus here a little bit. His armor is very different. Is very similar to the other short troopers, especially the Grunt would probably be the closest. The pants are different though. The pant coloring is different between them, I believe. I'd have to pull my guys out, but he is right now in his box since I'm moving soon. But here we have the obviously the big difference is going to be the coloration on the armor. A lot more blue here on the shoulder, the front armor. I have to say that I really do like the blue armor here. Now, one thing I would think you notice, and anybody else in chat or stuff who has, sorry, OG, you can deal with it. That with this guy is the armor here, like on the chest and stuff, has a lot more blaster damage or wear and tear on it, or even you can see on the arms here. I think it seems like some of the weathering on this trooper may be a little bit more than on some of the other short troopers on the armor pieces, and like here on the back grenade and stuff like that, they seem to have a lot more on here.
Is Lane lagging a little bit for you guys?
Now the helmet itself.
Go ahead, Lane.
Okay, the helmet itself, obviously standard short trooper that we've gotten, just to show some movement stuff for him. So you get about. Oh, yeah, I knew that was going to happen sooner or later.
It's standard posing.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. That's how it goes.
Yep.
A great lane unboxed.
Yeah. Glorious as always. So probably means trying to reattach this is going to make me hate life.
The figure's fighting back.
Yeah.
Squeaks.
This is the one thing I always have with the armor pieces. It's like this is the one thing I hate about troopers is trying to reattach the arms and all that stuff in the
Yeah,
hands.
because you got to push the forearm armor back to get the.
And this guy is a little bit more difficult because he's got this armor here that takes up and fills up the space right there. So like, you know, here, easy as pie. Big piece of plastic in the way, totally different thing. But let me see here. So since I was going to switch this out anyway. See,
if
now,
you want, Lane, do you want us to go to the main camera? You can kind of get him in a pose so you're not being put on the spot while he's falling apart on you. Okay. Okay, we'll do that.
But the good thing is, though, I will just say, like, the bag here and everything, it doesn't look like there's really too much, if any, like, breakdown on it or anything, so that's good. This guy, I have to say, I didn't think I would like necessarily, like, there was too much difference when I got some of the other ones. But I do like, I really do kind of see more the, like the detail with the weathering and stuff on this guy does seem a little bit better maybe than some of the other shore troopers.
Right.
But I am not sure how I'm going to reattach this guy with this stupid armor, man. Like the way this is set.
If you can't, it's all good, dude. If you can't, it's all good. At least we got to see the figure up close. I really like the captain. I think that blue really sets it off. Blue's one of my favorite colors, so that's one I would definitely like to have in my collection. Like you said, he has come down a little bit in price, but he's still pretty pricey. He's like $400+. He can get up there.
I've seen him go for as cheap as $300 occasionally. Obviously, BSTs on Facebook, it's you know, you can have that thing pop up. But I would probably say this guy is probably more like $350, $400. So he's still expensive, guys. So if you're considering getting a shore trooper, I would definitely encourage you to get, if you don't have any already, go for the grunt or the squad leader.
They're
going to be a lot
cheap, man.
Yeah, you can get 2 of those for probably this guy, and maybe you can get lucky to get one of him down the road that you could put as more a commander type. Okay, so I got the thing. So there isn't too much more to this guy. I do have to figure out what the heck is up with this piece, but let me see if I can just get him on here real quick. And I have a feeling that this is going to be, this shoulder piece right here does not
just
like posing.
In the way.
Yeah. Because I did not have this much trouble trying to move stuff on my other shore troopers. But it looks like he's still, I'm going to try here just bending his other arm because there, just so you guys can see a little bit of movement, what he's capable of.
There you go.
But this is, for whatever reason, it's because this guy's piece here is a lot thicker or whatever, longer slightly, where it goes to the elbow. So you probably have to move up like this. So this guy looks like, even for a trooper, might be a little bit limited in his articulation, what you're trying to do with the upper body. So let me see if I can get him. Nope. Yeah. This is why I hate troopers. This is why the only part of 6 scale that makes me crazy is the stupid hands. Like I will say I was able to pose my originals 2 shore troopers. I'm trying to get him up to do just kind of like a salute pose a little bit, like say Director Krennic was walking by or something, since I have him. I'm not going to be able to get him necessarily totally up like that. Let me see if I could get his blaster in his hand with it falling out.
You could do it, Lane. We have faith in you.
Okay. Now, here's going to be the easier way. Sorry, guys. I'm not Maz when it comes to posing crap. He is very good at doing this stuff. Yeah. But there's a reason I'm a museum pose veteran. Okay.
That's a good way to put it, a veteran.
Okay, let me see. Almost there.
Matt says the shore trooper's trying to give you a hand.
Ha ha ha. Okay. Let's see.
Well, Lane, we believe in you. Now just don't touch the hand or it'll fall off. Don't you love the sound of Stormtrooper armor when you're posing it?
Yeah. Let's see.
And this is totally off topic, but I just got new. Connor, you know I'm a huge Elvis fan, right? His daughter just passed away.
Oh,
really?
That sucks.
Yeah, Lisa Presley.
Oh.
How old was she?
She was pretty old. She was in her
54.
50s, 60s.
Hey,
54.
Okay, jeez. Some guy, thank you so much for being here, dude. Once again, we appreciate you as always. I hope you have a good one, man. We're about to close out here very shortly anyway, so I'll say you made it through the whole stream. We appreciate you, man. Take care.
Thanks, some guy.
Imperial Trooper salute. Yes, that's what he's going for, it looks like. I like that.
Okay. This is this is not going to be exactly how I want it to be, but having spent here, let's see,
That's all right.
slide this a little bit more. Okay, so this is going to be a little shitty, but let me give you guys a view now.
Lay it on
and
us.
just see, this is the 30 seconds of fighting that I was able to do.
Hey, at least you got the hand on.
Stupid effing camera here, and let me see if I can give you a little bit even thing.
There you go. I like that
Yeah,
little
the
quick
bla-
salute
the-
you did there, Lane.
Yeah, the blaster part I would like to have on the inside and have his little thing going over his shoulder. That's like where I would like to have it. But I thought that this would be just at least something where he's in the process of moving his hand to salute while trying to move his blaster up, kind of, up,
Right.
like this,
Like in
kind of to the
motion.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more what I'm going for here.
Nice.
So you can see here, I'm really surprised, but the blue really on the chest here really does make a difference, I think, with how the guy looks.
I agree. I think it looks great. I love that look, man.
I still like the grunt a lot because I do like it has just the one pattern all the way through for the coloration too. Like, I think this, like you were talking, I think if you got two grunts and had this guy, like as a three, if you were going to go for a 3-pack, maybe not army building, but you wanted a few as like a group, two of the grunts and then this guy is kind of the commander type, I think would look great. So there you can see
I
the
agree.
entire thing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to probably because this guy's eventually going to have to get packed again here, not in too distant future, but I think I'm going to mess with him a little bit tomorrow, trying to get him into a full, what I think I may do is have him trying to salute, but I'm going to have the gun kind of like the strap wrapped around in his hand and then over his shoulder. So like the gun is over his shoulder.
Right. Yeah, it's a cool idea for a pose. It's something different than just like a standard up and down trooper pose that a lot of us do.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Well, thank you.
I hope it didn't hype it up too much, guys, but I figured this is a
cool
trooper
figure,
people
man.
would like to see.
I think that's probably my favorite of the 3 shore troopers. Not only because it's rare, but I like I said, blue is one of my favorite colors. So I think it looks awesome. So we appreciate you doing that unboxing, and Ryan as well for showing off your new figure.
Yep.
I got a new figure the other day. I got the Chrome Stormtrooper, but I figured everybody's kind of seen enough of him. And
I guess one thing before we close out on, maybe we should mention about what the I'm sure most people here have seen it, but speaking of Chrome, the Chrome Mando.
Oh, yes. We briefly talked about that. We forgot to go back to that. Yes, guys, if you haven't already, check your emails because Sideshow is shipping out the Chrome Mandalorian Deluxe set. So definitely keep an eye on your emails. I got my email, so I'm really, really excited to get that. But yes, guys, that is going to wrap it up. We're almost at the 3-hour mark. We're fastly approaching it. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. At one point, we had like 70-something people in here for a while, so we really do appreciate you hanging out with us, talking about Hot Toys, talking about Inart, talking about all the fun stuff that we're all spending all our money on.
I found where that piece went.
Oh, there you go. Just click back in.
Yeah, I think it's got to be re-glued probably, but
yeah.
I was able to get it back in. So the reattach it and don't touch it.
There you go. There you go. I'm glad you found out where it was. But yeah, guys, we appreciate you being here as always. We had a fun time. Love talking about the DeLorean. Love talking about Obi-Wan. Love the discussion. We really appreciate you guys. Just a quick update, guys. I have uploaded a few videos on the channel over the past couple of weeks, so definitely check them out if you haven't already. 2 of the videos include Ryan. It's our new series that we've been doing, 2.0 or Leave It Alone. So if you haven't seen episode 1 or 2, those are live on the channel, so definitely check it out. Also, guys, I did put up my top 5 once for both the Return of the Jedi releases from Hot Toys as well as the Tartakovsky Clone Wars line. So again, if you haven't checked that out, check those out. Check those out as well. Also, I will tell you guys, I have a very special figure coming that is an exclusive figure that was never available here in the U.S. with a specific accessory. I don't want to spoil it, but I will be doing a review on that, so definitely keep an eye out on that. It's on the way to me. It's probably going to be here within the next week or so, but I'm really excited to do a review on that. I haven't seen really anything on it thus far. I saw one person post photos, and that's it, because it is an exclusive to Japan, so once that gets into me, I definitely will do a review on that, and I look forward to sharing it with you all. I'm really excited to do that. But also, Ryan and I definitely will be filming a lot of content moving forward. We have a lot of ideas we're going back and forth, both for joint content and for content for just both of our channels. But Ryan, I know you just uploaded a couple videos in the past couple of days, right?
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry, I uploaded a quick update on the cabinet build behind me, just kind of doing like an update on that, so to speak. And then I started a new solo series on my channel. If anyone wants to check out, it's called In the Lightbox. And what it is it's a series where I basically I showcase 3 or 4 Instagram wants to scale photographers, and they're not known people. They're not people that are like have 1,000+ followers that people know about. It's just trying to give back to the community and showcase the amazing talent and work that's out there. So that's something that I do. I'll record another episode, but I have one episode out right now where I showcase 3 profiles and I kind of go over why I like their artwork and stuff like that. So that's a new series I'll be doing every week on my channel. And then the review on the Tony Stark mech test will be up tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So a quick review
nice
as well.
Very cool. Chris, what do you have going on your channel? Anything planned? Anything for the future?
I got a bit of WWE figures, these Elite figures or whatever that I'm going to be doing, putting them with the ring. There's some more questions on that video that I got that people want answered, and some about these figures. So I got some from family members or whatever, and got for myself. So
nice.
Gonna check those out and just do a huge haul with it. And then actually, whenever she arrives, shout out to Sean. I'm actually having Ahsoka come in, so she'll be on the channel at some point as well.
Very nice. That's a great figure, man. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
So we'll get back to Hot Toys on the channel.
Nice. Well, cool, guys. Again, not only do we have the links in the description, but our friend OG here is always dropping the links to everybody's channels in the description. So definitely check them out if you haven't already. Sean, do you have anything currently planned for your channel? I know you recently put up a video of the deluxe Mando set that we're all getting emails for right now from Sideshow. Anything going on, Sean? All right. Well, I guess Sean's not here. Oh, you are here, Sean.
I'm just waiting for
things
Sean to come in right now to start. Sorry.
I was about to say that's a long pause.
No, there was. I had my. Sorry about that. Anyways,
you're good.
I'm just waiting for stuff to come in. I have several things ordered that I'm just waiting to show up that have already been released. So
I hear you.
I don't have anything
we're all
planned
kind of
until I get something new.
Yeah. Make good choices. That's for the end, OG. You got to wait. Eddie Rodriguez says, good night, gentlemen. Take care, Eddie. Happy Friday 13th to you, my fellow horror fan. Take care, man. I hope you have a great night and have a great weekend as well. But yes, guys, once again, all the links are in the description and also in the chat. If you want to check them out, definitely head on over to their channels. Great stuff going on all their channels. Of course, as always, Lane, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing your awesome unboxing. Yes, see legendary Lane Kramer everywhere. But yes, thank you so much, Lane, for doing that unboxing. I love seeing that figure.
Always watching.
Yeah, so you cannot escape Lane. Wherever you are, just know he's watching, so be prepared for that. Yes. Oh, there you go. OG said he was filling in since Sean was muted. Don't worry, we got him too. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Again, for some of us, a 3-day weekend if you have Monday off. But if you don't, it's okay because you'll have a day off eventually, right? But again, thank you so much for being here. On your way out, if you haven't already, drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you're not currently subscribed. I would really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Again, keep an eye out on our channels because we got a lot of content coming for y'all. And if we don't see you in the videos, We will be here once again back next week for Thursday at 7 p.m. EST. So we'll see you then, guys. Have a great night and enjoy your weekend.
Night,
Thanks
everybody.
for